Chapter 498. Gucci. Gucci rolled his eyes and looked at Shisheng slowly. The phone's light was on. The girl's petite face was slightly flushed, and she looked as if she had just woken up. She looked up at him and the restlessness in Gucci's body began to surge again. You can't sleep? Shisheng frowned and asked. The phone's light dimmed. Gucci put down the phone, shrunk under the blanket and hugged her. I'm afraid you won't be here when I wake up tomorrow. Gucci rested his chin on Shisheng's head and said in a low voice. Shisheng's heart trembled. I'll always be here. Shisheng put her hand into Gucci's clothes. Gucci's body stiffened again, and he pulled Shisheng's hand. Don't be impulsive. His voice was slightly hoarse. Sometimes a person would be afraid after being alone for a long time. He didn't want her to regret it in the future. Shisheng didn't really want to do anything. She retracted her hand and stopped moving. Gucci was afraid of disturbing her again, and dared not move. Shisheng didn't sleep at all. Gucci couldn't sleep. Lindsay Nan said his schedule was messed up and his insomnia symptoms were normal. Gucci only fell asleep when it was almost morning. Shisheng was also sleepy after being in a stalemate with him for the whole night. But she forced herself to get up and ordered breakfast. She only woke Gucci up when the breakfast was delivered. Gucci, get up and eat something. Gucci was in a deep sleep. Shisheng had a headache. How could he bear it like this? Shisheng forced Gucci to get up. Gucci was very angry when he woke up, but when he saw the person in front of him, he held back his anger. But his face didn't look good. Shisheng passed him a bowl of porridge. Eat a little before you sleep. Gucci glanced at her and took it silently. He finished it in a few mouthfuls and went back to sleep. Gucci slept until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He took a shower when he woke up and woke up after the shower. The room was empty. No one was there. His heart suddenly felt empty. She wasn't here. Gucci looked at his phone. It was turned off because it wasn't charged last night. He found the charger and charged it. After turning on the phone and waiting for a while, a few messages came in. 2 of them belonged to Lindsay Nan. One was to tell him that Yi Jingyi and Feng Xian had already taken care of it. One was the arrangement of activities for the new year. It was a long list, but Gucci did not even look at it. There was only one message from Shisheng. There's an audition for a new drama. Lunch is on the table, and the alarm I set for you is probably useless. Remember to eat when you wake up. Gucci saw the cold dishes on the table. He took them to the microwave and heated them up silently. After eating half a bowl, he couldn't eat anymore. Shisheng's audition had not started yet. She was sitting in the waiting area with 4 assistants beside her. It was a grand scene. Today's audition was for a TV series. The theme was a war-torn Republic of China drama adapted from a novel. Shisheng came over because Wen Xiao was going to be the second female lead in the movie. In the plot, this role was still snatched from the original owner. The female lead's temperament was different from the original host's. On the contrary, the second female lead's temperament was gentle and refined. So the original host took on the role of the second female lead. In the end, as soon as the female lead stepped in, the cooked duck flew away. The female lead came to snatch the second female lead, because she knew the second female lead was going to be popular in the movie. Thank you. Wen Xiao bowed and left the audition room. Next, the staff member in the audition room called out to the person outside. A girl ran in quickly. Wen Xiao turned around and saw Shisheng surrounded by the group of assistants. A hint of determination appeared in his eyes, as if he was determined to win. She came earlier than her this time, and the director was also very satisfied with her. Wen Xiao wanted to wait for Shisheng's result, so she was not in a hurry to leave. From the time she went into the Shisheng's back, it was only 10 minutes. The staff followed her out and said to the others, "Well, today's audition is over, please go back." Wen Xiao was surprised. It's over? Is it settled? Miss Lan, we will redraft the specific contract. Can we inform your manager directly? The staff spoke to Shisheng respectfully. Yes, sure. Shisheng nodded. Miss Lan, take care. The people in the waiting area all left, and Wen Xiao became a little conspicuous. Shisheng walked past her with his people, and Shisheng gave her a meaningful smile. Wen Xiao's heart was beating wildly. But soon, when Xiao received a call from her manager, asking her to sign the contract. The role was still hers. After signing the contract, Wen Xiao's heart was completely settled. "Excuse me, may I ask if Miss Lan Sheng will be acting in this movie?" Wen Xiao asked carefully after signing the contract. The staff member smiled. "No, I won't." Wen Xiao heaved a sigh of relief, but before she could calm down, she was shocked by the staff's words. "Miss Lan is the investor." Investor? The contract that Wen Xiao thought was a treasure just now, but now she felt like a hot potato. There was no movie that didn't lack investors, and most of the crew would start filming as soon as they got a little investment. So some of the crew couldn't get any investment in the later stage, and had to stop halfway. Wen Xiao didn't know how she left, but this life seemed to have changed a lot. In her previous life, Lan Sheng's identity as the eldest daughter of the Lan family was not exposed, and nobody knew until her death. Her rebirth changed a lot of things. When Xiao took a deep breath, no matter what, she had to climb to the top. When Shisheng returned home, Guqi was still sleeping on the bed. Shisheng sighed comfortably with the heater on in the house. Sure enough, the life of a scumbag who just sits around and waits for death was the most suitable for her. Shisheng warmed up for a while, then slowly climbed onto the bed and reached out to touch Guqi's forehead. Probably because her hand was a little cold, Guqi didn't fall asleep. He woke up as soon as Shisheng touched him. His dark pupils were gray, until he saw Shisheng clearly. There was a little more color in his eyes. "You're back." "Yes, have you eaten?" Shisheng put her hand into his blanket. "Yes." Guqi naturally held her hand, tilted his head, and a crisp sound was heard. Shisheng frowned. "Let's go to the hospital tomorrow." Guqi's fingers tightened. "I'm fine." "I don't care if you're fine or not, we have to go tomorrow." Guqi pursed his lips and didn't say anything, which meant that he agreed. At night, Lin Zainan came over with snow all over his body. "It's snowing?" Shisheng was surprised. Lin Zainan's face suddenly fell. "Goddess, are you and boss going to become cavemen soon?" "It didn't even snow when I came back in the afternoon." Shisheng closed the door. "Warm up first, then come in later." Lin Zainan was suddenly touched. "It'll be troublesome if you bring the cold in." Lin Zainan was speechless. "Goddess doesn't care about me at all. I'm not happy, sob sob sob. Since boss had a goddess, he also ignored me. I feel like I'm going to fall out of favor." Asterisk Lin Zainan, "Boss, please favor me." Guqi, "I'm only interested in her." Lin Zainan, "I'm going to the newspaper office." Chapter 499. Lin Zainan came over to ask about Guqi's Chinese New Year activities. A big family like the Gu family would have detailed arrangements of what to do on each day. Actually, Guqi had not been home for a few years, but Lin Zainan would send the list to Guqi every year. "Goddess, please persuade boss, he has not been home for the past few years. You know that it's the new year and I definitely have to go home. He's always alone here. My heart aches just looking at him." The Gu family doesn't care? Didn't they say they loved the young master very much? Why don't they care? Lin Zainan scratched his head. If they could, they would not let him go. Even if they couldn't, they wouldn't dare to. Guqi did not go home, so the Gu family came to his place and caught Guqi the first year. In the second year, Guqi stayed outside alone for a night, and was sick for half a month. The Gu family did not dare to mess around anymore. "I might not be able to come over for a while. Goddess, please take care of boss. He had a cousin who was getting married this year, so he had to go home to help." Shisheng nodded. Lin Zainan gave Shisheng a list of phone numbers. "These are boss's favorite restaurants. There is also a phone number of the Gu family's old house. The restaurants outside will be closed during Chinese New Year. You can call the old house, they will prepare food and send it over." Lin Zainan rattled off a long list of instructions and left in a hurry. Lin Zainan took the time to come over today. It was only a week before Chinese New Year, so everyone was very busy. If not for the fact that Lin Zainan and Guqi were not gay, she would have suspected that she walked into the wrong place. The next day, Shisheng woke Guqi up from his bed. Guqi had insomnia again last night, so he was sleepy now. Looking at his tired face, Shisheng could not bear it. Guqi's expression was not good, He probably wanted to throw a tantrum. Shisheng leaned forward and kissed his lips. To be honest, it was the second time they were so close to each other. Shisheng kissed him carefully. Gucci was a little stiff at first, then he started to dodge. Why are you dodging? Shisheng stared at him angrily. Gucci kept silent for half a minute and said slowly, I didn't rinse my mouth, there's a smell. I don't even despise you. What do you despise? Come here. Gucci refused. He got out of bed and stayed in the bathroom for a while before coming out. He sat next to Shisheng and stared at her with wide eyes. Shisheng was so angry that he laughed. He pressed him on the bed and kissed him for more than 10 minutes. All right, are you willing to get up? Gucci felt uncomfortable from the kiss. He breathed heavily and nodded after a while. Shisheng stood up and rummaged through the wardrobe. The thickest sweater was the autumn one. There were no winter down jackets or cotton-padded coats. Shisheng looked back at Gucci, who was still lying on the bed. I really have to hand it to him. Shisheng rubbed the space between his eyebrows, tried to pick out thicker clothes for him, and took him out. When they passed by a shop, Shisheng went in and casually picked 2 pieces of clothing. Put it on first. Shisheng passed the clothes to Gucci. Gucci was like an obedient wife, wearing his clothes obediently. It was almost the Lunar New Year, but the hospital was getting more and more crowded. The Shisheng had to make an appointment in advance so that there would not be a queue. Shisheng requested for a full body checkup, so it was a little slow. It was almost noon when he finished the checkup. The report could only be received in the afternoon. Shisheng had to have lunch with him first, then return to the hospital. Who are you to him? The doctor asked Shisheng while flipping through the medical records. There were only Shisheng and the doctor in the ward. Gucci was waiting outside. Girlfriend. The doctor put down the medical records. His condition is not serious, but if he continues like this, it will be. He already has a spinal disease. He has been sitting and sleeping in an improper posture for many years. You see, this part of his is already deformed. It's not too late to correct it. Shisheng took the report and went out. Gucci was standing outside the door. When she went out, he immediately held her hand. I'm fine. Shisheng glanced at him. He's fine now, but he'll be dead in the future. The reason for his insomnia was that his schedule was messed up. He'll be fine after adjusting. After that, Shisheng started to insist Gucci to sleep early and wake up early. He even bought him a treadmill. Since he was unwilling to go outside, then he could just stay at home. Gucci obviously disliked all these. However, his dislike was nothing compared to the importance of Shisheng in his heart. He could only do as he was told. Chinese New Year's Eve. You're really not going home? Shisheng asked Gucci, who was curled up next to him. Sit properly. Gucci slowly put his feet down. No. My brother asked me to go back for lunch. Come with me. Gucci looked at him with his big eyes, as if asking if he could. My brother is the only one at home. There's no one else. Shisheng thought he was afraid of the other members of the Lan family. Lan Qing lived alone. He didn't ask for a big villa, just an apartment with a better environment. The company was on holiday on the 29th. Lan Qing, who was obsessed with his sister, kept calling his sister to go home for Chinese New Year. He was afraid that she would be abducted by Gucci and wouldn't go home. So when Lan Qing saw Shisheng bringing Gucci home, he refused. How could his little ancestor bring someone else's little ancestor back home? If the Gu family didn't see their gold ingot during Chinese New Year, wouldn't they turn a city upside down? Brother, why are you blocking the door? It's freezing outside. Let me in. Lan Qing reluctantly stepped aside. Gucci was a step behind. He passed a bag to Lan Qing. Happy Chinese New Year, brother. Lan Qing was speechless. What are you calling? Lan Qing took it reluctantly. His facial expression changed when he saw the logo on the bag. Compared to Gucci's gift, wasn't the gift he prepared too inferior? No, I have to change it. Lan Qing rushed into the study room in a hurry. He didn't care what his assistant was doing and called him to buy something. The assistant was full of resentment. But when he heard that his boss gave him a big red packet, he immediately came back to life and promised to complete the task. Lan Qing cooked at home. Although it was simple, it was full of the love of a brother to his sister. After the meal, Lan Qing sneaked out. When he came back, he had a box in his hand. Sheng pretended that he didn't see it. Lan Qing awkwardly passed the box to Gu Qi and gave him a big red packet. Gu Qi, I don't care who you are, but if you dare to bully my baby, I will make you pay the price even if it costs the whole Lan group. Gu Qi took it solemnly. I won't bully her. Buzz buzz. Sheng's phone vibrated every once in a while. Most of the calls were from people in the circle. I'm going to take a call. Sheng took the phone and went into the study room, leaving the two men to negotiate. Hello. It was an unknown number. The voice was even stranger. It sounded cautious. Is this Miss Lan Sheng? You are? I'm Gu Hao Gu Qi's brother. I would like to talk to you. Miss Lan, are you free? Chapter 500. Sheng had seen Gu Hao in the newspaper before. Compared to the newspaper, the real Gu Hao looked more handsome and charismatic. They met at a cafe not far from Lan Qing's apartment. There were not many people because of the Chinese New Year. I'm sorry to disturb Miss Lan at this time. Gu Hao's attitude was very humble. Sheng raised his eyebrows. He thought Gu Hao was here to pick a fight. Mr. Gu, what's the matter? Gu Hao looked at the girl opposite him. She was a very pretty girl. She was very natural when facing him. There was no fawning or fear. Is Xiaoqi with you? He wanted to see Gu Qi at first, but he found no one there. The Gu family naturally received the news that Gu Qi and Sheng were together, but they dared not intervene. Moreover, Gu Qi had clearly called them and told them not to check on Lan Sheng. They only knew that Lan Sheng was the eldest daughter of Yu Tung Group, the best actress in the entertainment industry. She was a good person, but there was a lot of negative news recently. Yes. Sheng nodded. Gu Hao took a deep breath. Miss Lan, you and Xiaoqi have been together for a while. I'll be frank. Please go ahead. Before that, I would like to ask Miss Lan, what's your purpose of being together with Xiaoqi? Sheng held the coffee and took a sip. When he put down the cup, he said, to be together for the rest of our lives. Gu Hao nodded. If that's the case, Miss Lan, please listen to me. I hope you don't mind my nagging. Gu Hao's words were full of concern for Gu Qi. He was talking to Sheng from the perspective of a brother, not the CEO of Huanyu Group. Miss Lan, I hope you can think about what I said just now. If you can still persist, the Gu family will not stop you. Gu Hao stood up and bowed slightly. One last thing, Miss Lan. Tomorrow, if possible, I hope Miss Lan can bring Xiaoqi home and introduce you to the Gu family. Gu Hao's words had already confirmed Sheng's identity. I'll try my best. Gu Qi listened to her, but she had to put in a lot of effort to coax him. Miss Lan, please say hello to Mr. Lan for me. I will visit in person another day. Gu Hao walked out of the cafe and heaved a sigh of relief. His assistant came over with an umbrella. President Gu. She's a good girl. Gu Hao whispered. Xiaoqi likes her. Even if she's not good, we have to accept it. Let's go back. The assistant followed Gu Hao and asked worriedly, will young master come back? I think so. That girl could make Gu Qi come here. Perhaps, it wouldn't be that difficult to make him go home. When Sheng went back, Gu Qi and Lan Qing were drinking. Lan Qing's alcohol tolerance was average, but Gu Qi's alcohol tolerance was not bad. He was completely fine even after Lan Qing was drunk. There were still 2 hours before dawn. Why don't you want to go home? Sheng nestled in Gu Qi's arms and watched the New Year's gala on TV. Gu Hao was a nice person and treated Gu Qi well. She was in a good mood, so it didn't matter if she helped them. However, this was under the premise that Gu Qi was willing to do so. She wouldn't force him to do anything. Gu Qi lowered his head and played with Sheng's fingers. Laughter flowed out from the TV. Until the end of a program, Gu Qi said slowly, I'm not used to seeing their happy scene. He couldn't understand their feelings, so he couldn't get used to it every time. Let me accompany you home. Gu Qi tilted his head slightly. Sheng tilted his head and looked up at him. Sheng hugged his neck and kissed him for a moment. Let's go back and take a look. If you don't like it, we'll leave immediately. Gu Qi breathed slowly. The New Year's gala program changed one after another. Wherever you are, it's good to go. Sheng was speechless. Hashtag what should I do if my partner always flirts with me? Hashtag Gu family's old house. At this time, the house was brightly lit. There were children setting off fireworks in the open space. The adults were chatting in the villa, but the atmosphere wasn't very festive. There were only 10 minutes before dawn. 8 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute. The countdown to the New Year's gala started. Old Mr. Young Master is back. The butler hurriedly ran in from outside, bringing in a cold air. However, no one present felt cold. Who are you talking about? Old Master Gu stood up excitedly. Xiaoqi is back. Yes, Young Master is back. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Old Master Gu rushed outside. Grandpa, slow down. Gu Hao quickly held Old Master Gu. A group of people surrounded Old Master Gu and walked out of the villa. The TV behind them was still counting down. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Boom! Huge fireworks bloomed in the sky above the villa. The children's laughter spread far and wide, welcoming the people who slowly walked in from outside the villa. Shisheng knew that the Gu family was huge, but she was still surprised to see so many people at first glance. Gu Qi stood quietly beside her, his gaze fell on her, but he didn't look at the Gu family. It's the girl from the Lan family. Gu Hao saw Old Master Gu looking at Shisheng curiously and reminded. Xiaoqi seems to like her a lot. It's good that Xiaoqi likes her. Let them in. Old Master Gu's voice was almost choked. Gu Hao had the people beside him support Old Master Gu as he jogged over to Shisheng and the rest. Xiaoqi, welcome home. Gu Hao reached out and wanted to hug Gu Qi, but Gu Qi avoided him. He looked at Gu Hao indifferently. Even though there were countless brilliant fireworks in his eyes, they seemed to be grayish-white. Shisheng patted his hand. Gu Qi glanced at Shisheng, then looked at the disappointed Gu Hao. He stepped forward slowly and hugged Gu Hao gently. It was very short. Almost as soon as he touched him, he let go. Gu Hao looked at Gu Qi with a face full of surprise. Then he was surprised. It's cold outside. Xiaoqi, come in quickly. Miss Lan, please come in. Everyone saw Gu Qi and Gu Hao hugging just now. Almost everyone had the same expression as Gu Hao. Surprise, surprise, relief. It was too cold outside. The group of people did not talk outside, and entered the villa noisily. The butler made hot tea for Shisheng and Gu Qi. Miss Lan, let me introduce you. Gu Hao stood out when everyone was curious about Shisheng. This is my grandpa. Hello, Grandpa Gu. Shisheng took out a box from the bag she was carrying and greeted him obediently. Happy New Year, Grandpa Gu. Good. Old Master Gu smiled and took over Shisheng's box. You're so considerate. Gu Hao, go and get the purple brocade bracelet from my study room. A few women's faces changed slightly. While Old Master Gu was talking to Shisheng, they quietly left their seats. When they came back, they had more things in their hands. Shisheng was glad that she had a lot of things in her space. Otherwise, she would not be able to deliver everything to so many people. Asterisk hashtag please vote. Hashtag. Chapter 501. This is my father. Gu Sheng's father looked like a strict person, but his gaze towards Gu Qi was gentle. Hello, Uncle Gu. Gu Sheng's father smiled and gave Shisheng a big red packet. Gu Hao knew Gu Sheng's father's character, so he led Shisheng to the next room. This is my second sister-in-law. Hello, second sister-in-law. The boxes given by Shisheng were made of high-quality sandalwood, emitting a faint fragrance. It was obvious that they were aged. It was obvious that they put in a lot of effort. Gu Hao was also a little confused. How did she prepare so many gifts in such a short time? I didn't know you were coming, so it was a little rushed. Don't mind it, I'll make it up to you another day. Gu's second sister-in-law was a little embarrassed. After Gu Hao introduced everyone, Shisheng held a bunch of gifts and red packets in his hands. The most valuable one was the bracelet given by Old Master Gu. It was said that it belonged to Old Master Gu's first wife, which was equivalent to the symbol of being the mistress of the family. Gu Qi didn't receive any red packets. Under Shisheng's instructions, Gu Qi wished Old Master Gu and Gu Sheng a Happy New Year. Old Master Gu almost cried tears of joy, while Gu Sheng's father held back a little. Old Master Gu ordered the servants to prepare a reunion dinner. They had already eaten. But in order to accompany Gucci, everyone sat at the table obediently and ate a little symbolically. Little girl, your brother is a powerful person. Old Master Gu looked at Shisheng with a smile. When the Lan family had such a big incident, he single-handedly propped it up. In just a few years, he grew to where he is today. He's not bad compared to these few people in their family. He's a very good brother. Shisheng replied with a smile. Both of them chatted harmoniously. Gucci sat beside her and listened to her quietly, unlike the past when he was anxious on such occasions. Looks like Xiaoqi really likes this little girl. Gu's second sister-in-law and eldest sister-in-law sat together and whispered. Gu's eldest sister-in-law glanced at Shisheng. I don't know about her character. We gave her so many gifts just now. What did she give us? I peeked just now, it's a bracelet. It doesn't matter what the gift is. What matters is that Pooh likes it. I'm just worried that Xiaoqi will be tricked by her. What if she's interested in our family? Second sister-in-law Gu kicked eldest sister-in-law Gu on the table. Shisheng happened to look in their direction. Mrs. Gu smiled awkwardly, lowered her head, and remained silent. It was a little late, and Old Master Gu's body couldn't take it. Old Master Gu looked at Gucci expectantly. Xiaoqi and Xiaosheng can stay here. Xiaoqi's room has always been reserved. Gucci frowned. He pulled Shisheng and shook his head slightly. Shisheng had no choice but to say to Old Master Gu, Grandfather Gu, I'll bring him back another day. Old Master Gu was very happy that Gucci could come back today. Although he was a little disappointed that he couldn't stay overnight, it was better than the previous years. Gu Hao sent Shisheng and Gucci back. On the way back, Gu Hao held back his urge to speak. He only called out to Shisheng when they got off the car. Xiaoshen, thank you for today. Grandpa is very happy. Gu Hao thanked him sincerely. Mr. Gu, you're welcome. Xiaoshen, you can call me Big Brother if you don't mind. I'll leave Xiaoqi in your care. Call me if you need anything. Shisheng kept silent for a few seconds. Okay, good night, Big Brother. Gu Hao watched the two of them enter the elevator before driving away. When he returned to the villa, he realized that everyone was still there. What's wrong? Grandpa, why aren't you asleep yet? It's so late. How look at these things. Second sister-in-law Gu pointed at the box on the table. Those were all taken out by Shisheng just now. Gu Hao was puzzled. What's wrong with these things? There were all kinds of things in the box. Some were jade, some were exquisitely crafted jewelry. Is there anything wrong? Although the items were a little monotonous, it wasn't easy to prepare so many things in such a short time. Old Master Gu said in a deep voice, the items here are worth at least 1 billion. Grandpa, are you kidding? I still have a good eye. Old Master Gu glared at Gu Hao. This was his conservative estimate because he didn't recognize a few of the items and didn't know the price at all. Just the ornament made of imperial jade that she gave to Father Gu was worth at least 300 million. Not to mention the jewelry she gave to the other ladies. Most of them were top-grade jade. The quality and workmanship were many times better than those outside. She gave us 1 billion just like that? Gu Hao still couldn't believe it. Even the Gu family couldn't give away 1 billion just like that. Eldest sister-in-law Gu had suspected that she was doing it for the Gu family's money. But now that these things were in front of her, she didn't dare to have such thoughts anymore. The things we gave her are nothing compared to this. Second sister-in-law Gu shook her head. Where did this little girl get so many good things? Prepare a big gift. We'll visit the Lan family tomorrow. Guai made the final decision. Everyone was surprised. It had been many years since they visited the Lan family to give New Year's greetings. And it was the first day of the Lunar New Year. Everyone is going, Old Master Gu added. Shisheng put the things away after returning home. She liked the bracelet very much. She took it out and tried it on. The size was perfect. But she took it off after trying it on. Gucci hugged her from behind and put the bracelet back on. Wear it, don't take it off. Shisheng looked at him in confusion. It looks good, Gucci said slowly. Shisheng took out her phone and took a photo of both of their hands clasped together. Then she took another photo of both of them in the same position. Can I post it? Shisheng logged into Weibo and asked Gucci it's Chinese New Year. She wants to show off her affection. As long as you like it. Shisheng quickly uploaded the photo. Lansheng, v the first wave of PDA in the Chinese New Year. Picture. It was past 4 in the morning, but there were many people online. Shisheng's Weibo post had more than 1,000 comments. Happy Chinese New Year. Oh my god, what did my idol post? I'm blind, I can't see it. I reject the PDA. PS. My idol's idol is so handsome. Licking the screen. I have any door. I reject the PDA. I'm being forced to get married at home. My idol, you're still abusing the PDA. Are you going to celebrate the Chinese New Year? Dark Elf. My idol actually has a girlfriend. Ah, is this the first happy event of the year? My idol and my idol are so compatible. Heart sign blessings. Ghost delivery. Ah, how did my idol find a girlfriend? Heartbroken on the first day of Chinese New Year. General, your aunt is missing. My idol, are you going to abandon us? Sob, you want to abandon us on Chinese New Year? I don't want to. I want to see my idol's idol. He's so handsome. Lansheng is my idol. I'm scared. I must be sleepy. Let me sleep again. Fighting in the front line. Sure enough, it's the first PDA of the new year. I'm not going to eat it. P.S. My idol is going to dominate the first headlines of Chinese New Year. Asterisk hashtag looking for blueberry flavored tickets today hashtag. Chapter 502. When Lansheng woke up the next day, he was shocked by a large group of people from the Gu family. His mind was filled with the thought that these monsters who loved Gucci were finally going to take action. He quickly used his somewhat slow brain to analyze a few useful methods to prepare to deal with this group of monsters. However, the reality was completely different from what he imagined. Led by Old Master Gu, they greeted Lansheng cordially one by one. Lansheng was dumbfounded the whole time. Are they here to cause trouble? Why didn't they say so earlier? I was scared to death. No, it's only been one night. What happened that I don't know about? Why do these people act like they're meeting their in-laws? Old Master Gu left a lot of things, but compared to what Shisheng gave them yesterday, it was definitely a drop in the ocean. Until these people left, Lansheng then took out his phone. He wanted to call Shisheng, but he happened to see messages popping up one after another on Weibo. Since his baby sister was exposed, there were people mentioning him from time to time. However, it only happened when something big happened. What did his baby sister do this time? Lansheng quickly clicked on it, and saw the two photos first. Lansheng was speechless. He was wondering why those monsters were here. It turns out that his baby sister is really causing trouble. This year's entertainment event was the first big event. Prince Charming has a girlfriend. This was a very sad thing for the fans. The next day was the premiere of Proud Son. The box office on the first day exceeded 90 million. The crew was overjoyed by the good start, and increased the promotion efforts. The box office came out along with the movie reviews. Shisheng was a negative character in the movie, but he received a lot of good reviews in the end. It was impossible to get unanimous praise. However, in general, this character was liked by everyone. Because of this role, Shisheng was able to secure her position as the Prince Charming, gaining countless fans. As for Wen Xiao, her scenes with Shisheng were basically suppressed. Naturally, some people noticed this. Some people who disliked Shisheng accused Shisheng of bullying the newcomer. Chen Yuan specifically called Shisheng and asked him not to respond. The company will handle it. Shisheng was very obedient. She did not respond, but she made Gucci show off their affection. It felt a bit like punching cotton. The topic was successfully diverted by their affection. Proud Son's box office exceeded 600 million in 10 days. This was a pretty good result. After that, Dimension Dream Guy was a low-budget film and the box office sales were not as high. However, with Shisheng's fame, it was considered quite good among low-budget films. Although Wen Xiao did not become famous overnight like in the storyline, she was not a nobody and had her own fan club. But compared to Shisheng's army of fans, they were nothing. The filming of the TV series that had been released before the Lunar New Year had officially started. As the biggest investor, Shisheng naturally received the best treatment. Wen Xiao didn't know why she was delayed and didn't make it in time for the opening ceremony, which caused a lot of dissatisfaction. This was the pose that a female lead should have. The female lead was the public enemy of the human race. Most people had a grudge against the female lead, but there were bound to be dragons and phoenixes that were the female lead's guardian angels. For example, the male lead of this drama, Zhao Yinan. Shixing didn't know how the two of them got along, but by the time she found out, they were already friends. If someone bullied the female lead in the crew, Zhao Yinan would definitely come forward. Zhao Yinan had some influence, so these people didn't dare to act rashly. They could only talk about the female lead behind her back. Wen Xiao was the second female lead. Shixing didn't delete her scenes, so she started to add scenes for her. The original author was angry and loving at the same time. The scenes added by Shixing didn't seem out of place in general, but she didn't know why she always felt weird. Sometimes, Wen Xiao could only get the revised script on the same day, and the increase of scenes meant that her workload increased. Sometimes she could only rest for 3 to 4 hours in 24 hours. Xiao Qiao, come and drink some water. Zhao Yinan passed a bottle of mineral water to Wen Xiao. You must be tired recently. As the second male lead, Zhao Yinan was naturally a warm man. He was as warm as he could be. I'm okay. Wen Xiao's face was a little pale. Thank you, Brother Yinan. Zhao Yinan organized his words and asked carefully, did you offend Lan Sheng? Brother Yinan? Wen Xiao looked confused. She didn't seem to understand what Zhao Yinan was talking about. Zhao Yinan looked around and saw that no one was paying attention to them. He lowered his voice and said, Lan Sheng kept adding scenes for you. Many of the others' scenes were deleted. Don't you realize that the crew members have more and more opinions about you recently? He stood on the outside, so naturally he could see more clearly. Lan Sheng was deliberately making things difficult for Wen Xiao. But he had never heard of Lan Sheng taking the initiative to make things difficult for anyone. She had a good reputation in the circle. Wen Xiao didn't understand why Shixing added scenes for her. Now that Zhao Yinan mentioned it, she finally understood. Recently, she was either busy with filming or catching up on sleep, so she didn't pay attention to the people around her. Her scenes were added so much. In order to maintain the number of episodes, some people's scenes would definitely be deleted. Wouldn't she become the target of public criticism? Lan Sheng was so scheming. I'll talk to the author. When Xiao stood up, Brother Yinan, thank you. Zhao Yinan smiled slightly. When Xiao found the original author, who was holding a pile of manuscripts and pulling her hair. Miss Qing Qiu, may I disturb you for a moment? The author's pen name was Qing Qiu Yimeng. When she introduced herself, she also said that she could be called Qing Qiu, so the crew members called her by her pen name. Miss One? Qing Qiu let go of her hair that was destroyed by herself and moved the things beside her aside to let Wen Xiao sit. What's the matter? Qing Qiu was young, but her personality was more carefree, and she seemed to be easy to talk to. I want to talk to you about adding scenes. Miss Qing Qiu has been adding scenes for me recently. Of course, I'm very grateful to Miss Qing Qiu for adding scenes for me. But will this affect the other actors' scenes? Wen Xiao's words were very tactful. This is what Prince Charming asked me to add. Qing Qiu answered briefly. But this is your novel. Wen Xiao hesitated. You don't want to ruin your own efforts? Qing Qiu widened her eyes and her expression was very strange. Let's put it this way to Miss Wen. I don't write novels for any interest, I just want to make money. Not every literary and artistic person had a literary and artistic heart. Qing Qiu belonged to the category that had no literary and artistic heart, but was very talented. She wrote purely for money. If you were willing to pay to read, she would write. If you were happy reading, she would be happy earning. Both parties were willing. Wen Xiao was a bit confused. This kind of down-to-earth author. It was a bit hard to adapt to. Qing Qiu slowly added another sentence. Prince Charming gave me extra money. Wen Xiao. Qing Qiu Yimeng. I also want to be a literary and artistic author, but reality forces me to bow down to money. Little fairy. That makes sense. Authors also need to eat. Qing Qiu Yimeng. Trash, I earn money to sleep with all the best men in the world. Little fairy. Let me beg for a vote. Qing Qiu Yimeng. Good for nothing. The above pen names are purely fictional. If there is any similarity, it is purely a failure to show off. Please do not take it seriously. Chapter 503. When Xiao's negotiation ended before it started. Money was a simple and crude thing, but it was very effective. When Xiao was in this torment of being added scenes, and added scenes. Do you think there's something going on between Wen Xiao and the director? Otherwise, why would they only add scenes for her and we have to delete them? The female lead is suppressed by her. What can we say? This kind of person is the most annoying. She only knows how to use nepotism. But her acting skills are not bad. Someone next to her said something fair. Although when Xiao's scenes were added, her acting was indeed good. Compared to the newcomers, she was definitely one of the best. Good acting is not as useful as good bed skills. When Xiao happened to walk past them, they deliberately said this to Wen Xiao. Xiao, the next scene is coming. Zhao Yunan interrupted. Go and get ready. Wen Xiao nodded slightly. Thank you, Brother Yunan. After Wen Xiao left, Zhao Yunan looked at the few actresses who spoke just now. It's impossible to be famous if you don't work hard and talk behind people's back. Zhao Yunan was originally quite handsome. After hearing what he said, several actresses blushed and dispersed. Shisheng crossed her legs and sat in the middle of the staff, holding her chin and talking on the phone. Remember to exercise. I'll check you when you go back. I know. I can go back earlier today. After Shisheng finished the phone call, Xiaobao came up. Sister Lan, the director said he's going for dinner. He asked if you want to go? Dinner? Of course she would go on the occasion of the accident. Those who went for dinner were the main creative team, and the other investors who rushed over. Shisheng was probably the only investor who stayed in the crew and ordered them to change the scene. When Xiao was arranged to sit beside an investor, and the other actresses were also arranged to sit beside the investor. Shisheng was such a big investor. The director naturally did not dare to make any arrangements. The dinner was considered peaceful. When it ended, the investor brought the actresses to the entertainment club for karaoke. Director, I'm not going. I haven't memorized the scenes changed today. I want to go back and memorize the lines. Wen Xiao did not want to go to such places and whispered to the director. Shisheng was standing beside the director. She squinted at Wen Xiao. In fact, the two of them did not interact much in the crew. Shisheng spent most of his time playing games while Wen Xiao was busy filming every day. She did not have time to argue with Shisheng. However, Wen Xiao was still a little afraid of her. Her gaze was too penetrating. She always felt that she was weak and transparent in front of her, without any secrets. There are a few investors here today. You have to go through the motions. The director disagreed. Wen Xiao couldn't refuse and could only follow. Naturally, there were all kinds of corruption when singing. Some people wanted to take the opportunity to climb up the tree and make themselves famous. Wen Xiao had Zhao Yunan's protection, so no one dared to force her to do anything. She just drank a lot of wine. Ugh. Wen Xiao vomited for a while in the bathroom and went out while holding her swollen head. Mr. Su, a good dog doesn't block the way. Wen Xiao's body swayed and fell against the wall. She leaned against the wall and looked towards the direction of the voice. Su Muyuan and Shisheng were standing face to face. I thought we were already in a cooperative relationship. Su Muyuan squinted his eyes and looked at Shisheng dangerously. I never promised you anything. It's all your own imagination. Shisheng blinked innocently. Su Muyuan showed her the shares and wanted her to help against the Gu family. She had to admit that Su Muyuan was a very ambitious male lead. However, he used the Lan family's shares to threaten her to go against her man's family. Was he retarded? Miss Lan, aren't you afraid that I'll do something to the Lan family? Mr. Su, it's good to be confident. I'm very optimistic about you. You're welcome to do it. Shisheng grinned and smiled eerily. The dim light in the corridor shone on her face, making her look even more treacherous. Do you think I'm scared? Do you think I'm stumped with this little difficulty? Retarded. I can chop you up in a matter of minutes. Miss Lan, I know something about Gucci that you may not know. Are you interested in hearing it? Su Muyuan's voice stopped Shisheng in his tracks. She turned her head slowly. Su Muyuan looked at her calmly with confidence, as if he was in control of the situation. What's wrong with you? Shisheng turned back to Su Muyuan. Su Muyuan felt that talking to this woman in front of him required a good psychological quality. Who knows what she might say in the next second that would catch you off guard. Miss Lan, I'm just telling you some facts. Thank you very much. Shisheng snorted. But I don't want to know. Even if Guqi killed someone, she didn't care. She turned and left. Her shoes stepped on the smooth marble floor, making clicks. If you dare to touch him and my brother, I'll bury the whole Su family with them. Her voice was somewhat muffled by the cramped passageway, and it lingered in the air. Lan Sheng, I'll give you 1 more month to consider. If you regret, you can come to me anytime. Su Muyuan raised his voice. Shisheng didn't stop and disappeared in front of Su Muyuan. He took out his phone and dialed a number. Start. The only weakness of the Gu family was Guqi. After hanging up the phone, Su Muyuan suddenly looked somewhere. Have you heard enough? When Qiao's body stiffened and said weakly, I'm just passing by. She always felt short of breath in front of this man. The corner of Su Muyuan's mouth curled up into an evil smile and left. When Qiao heaved a sigh of relief. This man was indeed the future entertainment tycoon. His aura scared her to death. She didn't quite understand the conversation between him and Shisheng just now. She was a little dizzy and didn't continue to think about it. However, when Qiao's relief didn't last long. The next day, she found out that she had slept with this entertainment tycoon. What's more strange was that there were photos of her and Su Muyuan in bed circulating on the internet. Although the photos were blurry and not fully nude, it was enough to make Su Muyuan furious. Good trick. Su Muyuan pinched Wen Qiao's chin with a gloomy expression. Wen Qiao's body still had traces from last night. It was especially eye-catching on her fair skin. Su Muyuan's eyes darkened. He actually had a reaction. I didn't do it. Wen Qiao pulled the quilt to cover herself and explained calmly. How on earth did she come here last night? It's not you. Su Muyuan tightened his grip. There are only 2 of us in this room. If it's not you, who else could it be? Mr. Su, please look at the angle of the photo. I'm lying on top of you. How can I stand aside and take a photo? When Qiao's chest moved up and down slightly, freeing her chin. It's just sleeping. I didn't ask you to take responsibility. Why are you so agitated? Chapter 504. Su Muyuan looked at the photo a few more times. The angle was indeed not something she could take. He took his phone and compared it in the room. Finally, he found a pinhole camera in the flower pot in the room. Su Muyuan asked someone to check it with a gloomy face. When Qiao was already dressed, she pretended to be calm with a pale face. Mr. Su, let's just treat what happened yesterday as a one-night stand. When we walk out of this door, we won't know each other. Su Muyuan sneered. Do you think you can walk out of this door? What do you want? Does he want to kill me after sleeping with me? After a while, when Qiao realized that Su Muyuan was referring to the paparazzi, the person who exposed the photo also exposed the address. There must be a lot of paparazzi waiting there. The photo was quickly deleted by Su Muyuan, but it couldn't stop people from discussing it online. Wen Qiao's performance in Proud Son was mentioned again. Wen Qiao made the headlines once. However, this headline didn't last long and was soon suppressed. Hashtag Lansheng is suspected to be pregnant. Hashtag. Shisheng was dumbfounded when she saw the hot topic. She brought Guqi to the hospital for regular checkups. Someone took a picture of her and said that she was pregnant. Sheng Shen, let's talk. Chen Yuan's voice was filled with anger. Sister Chen, I'm innocent. She and Guqi haven't had sex yet. How could she be pregnant? Chen Yuan tried to control herself. You feel uncomfortable if you don't go on the news every day, right? Can't you do something good? Look at what she has been doing recently. Sooner or later, she will have a heart attack because of her. She would make the headlines if she wasn't careful. But I didn't lose any fans. Shisheng argued. Her fans didn't drop, but increased a lot. Her title as Prince Charming was not for nothing. I'm not talking to you. If you continue to create trouble for me, I'll take all your acting roles for the next 5 years. Chen Yuan said and hung up the phone. 5 years of acting. Sister Chen, you win. Chen Yuan quickly came out to refute the rumor. However, Shisheng still made the headlines. Some netizens even asked when she and Gu Qi would have a baby. Shisheng said, she can't give birth to a baby. Even genetic mutations couldn't make a human degenerate into an ape. Gu Qi was playing games at the side. Shisheng rushed over and kissed him. Gu Qi let her kiss him. His reaction was slow for a long time before he responded to her slowly. What do you want to be in the future? Shisheng let go of Gu Qi and looked down at him. Gu Qi kept silent for a while, then said word by word, with you. Other than this? Gu Qi was a little confused. He shook his head after a while. No. Shisheng. He really didn't have any ambitions. Forget it. It's not a problem to take care of him. If he likes it, so be it. Shisheng kissed his cheek and said, let's go for a walk. Gu Qi was a little reluctant, but looking at Shisheng's expression of, you're dead if you don't go, he still slowly went to change his clothes. He had to exercise every night. After walking around the neighborhood for a few rounds, Gu Qi was unwilling to move anymore. He nestled on the sofa, holding the tablet, but his gaze was fixed on Shisheng, who was sitting on the other side, making a phone call. He tilted his head, looked for a while, got down from the sofa and walked to Shisheng. Under Shisheng's puzzled gaze, he hugged her and started playing games. Shisheng. You have to take this role. You haven't taken any roles recently. Shisheng, are you listening to me? Chen Yuan shouted over the phone. Yes. Shisheng replied. But this role doesn't suit me. Chen Yuan continued to shout. What do you mean it doesn't suit you? Didn't you take this kind of role before? I prefer roles in Proud Son now. Don't you think such a handsome role suits me? Chen Yuan didn't speak for a long time. Shisheng suspected that she was thinking about how to yell at her. You're a girl. Why do you need to be handsome? It's not easy to find such a role. Do you think you wrote the script yourself? You've been messing around recently. Can't you just focus on acting? Chen Yuan spoke very fast. It was obvious that she was furious. They talked for a long time but still couldn't come to an agreement. Shisheng said that she would only take roles like Proud Son now, but Chen Yuan forced her to take other roles. After hanging up the phone, Shisheng let out a long sigh. She lowered her head to look at Gu Qi's screen. Gu Qi was playing a PK game with someone. Maybe it was inconvenient for him to hug her, so he lost in the end. I want to sleep. Shisheng stared at Gu Qi. Gu Qi probably didn't want to sleep yet. He looked at the screen hesitantly, then at Shisheng. Finally, he put down the tablet. Gu Qi's insomnia was so serious that he still had insomnia even after recuperating for a long time. Hugging your loved one to sleep can cure insomnia in novels, but it didn't work for Gu Qi. It was another sleepless night. Gu Qi only fell asleep in the morning. Shisheng received a role a week later, the role of a police undercover. The setting was very similar to what Shisheng said. But the investor column. Gu Qi, he invested alone. In other words, it was very likely that he was the one who got someone to write this script. Shisheng asked Gu Qi, but Gu Qi asked her seriously, don't you like it? I want to give you everything you like. Shisheng admitted that she was flirted with. The quality of the script wasn't bad. It wasn't made at the last minute. In other words, Gu Qi had been looking for someone to make it for a long time. Where did you get the money? This was the main point. The Gu family gave Gu Qi money, but they couldn't give him so much, right? I have a company. Shisheng was speechless. What are you talking about? You have a company like this. The company didn't collapse? It's enough for you to squander. Gu Qi added. So the assistant that Lin Zainan mentioned was not a joke. The company was basically managed by Lin Zainan, but the decision-maker was still Gu Qi. Gu Qi had the ability, but he didn't have a goal. His goal now was probably to take care of Shisheng. When Wen Qiao's drama ended, this drama would start shooting. But Shisheng didn't expect Wen Qiao to be part of the crew. The person who brought her into the crew was none other than Su Muyuan. Su Muyuan and the director were friends. It was no problem to put someone in. Although Gu Qi was an investor, he never asked about these things, So Shisheng didn't know about Wen Xiao's involvement until the shooting started. Miss Lan, nice to meet you. Wen Xiao emphasized the words, nice to meet you. Miss Lan has always been my goal to surpass. Is taking someone as your goal to surpass stealing someone else's opportunity? Then I'm pretty unlucky. Shisheng's lips tugged into a smile as she walked past her. Wen Xiao frowned slightly. This Lan Sheng was too different from her previous life. Where did it go wrong? Asterisk little fairy, Mr. Gu, what do you like about Shisheng? Gucci. I like everything. She's the best. Little fairy. Don't compliment her, she can't see. Tell me. Why do you like her when she's such a jerk? Gucci. Maybe because I'm a jerk too. Shisheng. Drawing sword. What did you say? Little fairy. Innocent face. I didn't say anything. Shisheng. I heard everything, come and die. Little fairy. Let me beg for a vote before I die. Shisheng, okay. Chapter 505. Wen Xiao, what's wrong with you? Weren't you fine just now? The director yelled through the loudspeaker. Everyone was looking at the center. Wen Xiao's face was pale. Shisheng was standing opposite her, filming a scene with her. She felt like she couldn't keep up with the pace. Come here, I'll explain to you. The director didn't continue to be angry as Wen Xiao was put in by Su Muyuan. Shisheng asked Xiaobao to get the phone. Xiaobao quickly passed the phone over. Shisheng replied to Guqi's message first, then clicked on the game. The background music of the game echoed in the studio. Some of the staff looked hopeless. How addicted is this movie queen to games? Look at her, she's definitely playing games when she's free. Hashtag addicted movie queen hashtag Sister Lan, you're on the hot search list again. Xiaobao raised the phone in front of Shisheng, blocking her phone. Shisheng was speechless. Dead. Shisheng turned her head and stared at Xiaobao. Sister Chen wants to give you 5 years of acting, Xiaobao said weakly. Shisheng looked at Xiaobao's phone. She was squatting on the ground. She didn't know which staff took the picture behind her. That posture looked like a non-mainstream person squatting on the streets of the village. Netizen A. My idol's posture is so handsome even when he's playing games. Netizen B. My idol actually plays this game. My boyfriend plays it every day. I suspect he'll spend the rest of his life playing games. No way. I want to meet my idol in the game. My idol, please give me your ID. Netizen C. I give my idol 101 points for his down-to-earth posture. 1 more point and he'll be proud. Netizen D. Down-to-earth posture plus 1 Netizen E. Down-to-earth posture plus 2. Behind them was a row of formation. Shisheng looked at her posture, then looked at Xiaobao. She passed the phone to Xiaobao. Give me another handsome one. Xiaobao was speechless. Sister Chen really wants to give you 5 years of acting. Due to Shisheng's abuse of power, Xiaobao finally took a few photos for Shisheng. Compared to the sneaky photo, the front HD photo immediately made the fans excited. There were also people who asked if she was filming a new drama, and wanted to know the name of the drama. The production crew did not let go of any opportunity to advertise. They immediately used this opportunity to advertise for free. Chen Yuan was almost immune to Shisheng's behavior of being on the top of the trending list whenever she wanted. This was not a big deal, so Chen Yuan did not call the Shisheng. Sister Lan, there's a fight scene today. Wen Xiao's stunt double can't make it because of something. You might have to work hard then. As soon as Shisheng entered the film set, he was informed of the bad news. Without a stunt double, it meant that she might not be able to control her inner strength during the fight and injure Wen Xiao. That would be terrible. Can't we find one at the last minute? The staff member shook his head helplessly. It was not easy to find a temporary one. Even if they found it, they might not be able to shoot it well. There aren't many fighting scenes. Sister Lan, please help out. The staff member blinked and acted cute. Shisheng's mouth twitched. Do you think you're a girl? The staff member who was rejected was speechless. Was it his fault to be a man? Everyone in the production crew knew that cute girls would act cute to her. She was easy to talk to, especially the kind that looked soft and tender, and spoke very nicely. But she basically had no chance to be a man. Sometimes, she would be impatient before they even said a word. No one else had such a weird temper. You're a girl. Why are you fighting with these single dogs for a girl? Can't you let people fall in love? The production crew could not find a stunt double in the end, so Wen Xiao had to do it herself. The martial arts director was explaining the moves to Wen Xiao, while Shisheng was playing with his phone in the next room. The background of the game made Wen Xiao a little annoyed. The martial arts director's words went in one ear and out the other. When they finally started shooting, there was indeed a problem. Wen Xiao's moves were not on point at all. Either she did not have enough strength or she was in the wrong position. After more than 10 NGs, Wen Xiao had several bruises on her body. When Wen Xiao jumped down from a high place, she did not know if there was a problem with the prop. It could not bear her weight, and she fell directly from above. A gust of cold wind suddenly blew past Shisheng. Su Muyuan rushed to Wen Xiao's side. Are you okay? Wen Xiao looked at the man who suddenly appeared and was a little confused. Why are you here? Just passing by. Wen Xiao was speechless. How could he pass by the film studio? Is that President Su? Could it be that the photo back then was real? Wen Xiao really had an affair with President Su? Isn't it obvious? President Su is so handsome. Wen Xiao did not fall very seriously. Su Muyuan carried Wen Xiao to the restroom. Shisheng thought this matter would not affect him. After all, he was not the one who pushed Wen Xiao. But he did not expect that Mr. Plot, that little bitch, would not let him off so easily. Hey, this is Sister Lan's private restroom. Xiaobao stopped Su Muyuan, who wanted to barge in. There were only a few scenes here. To save time and money, the crew only prepared 2 restrooms. One was for Shisheng's exclusive use, and the other was for public use. Move. Su Muyuan's aura was strong. Xiaobao was intimidated by the aura and stepped back in fear. But he still did not move. Sister Lan, he shouted at the top of his voice. Shisheng was already walking towards him. What are you shouting for? You don't even know how to send someone away. Xiaobao was speechless. This person is so fierce. Shisheng ignored Su Muyuan's gaze. He pulled Xiaobao out and locked the door in front of Su Muyuan. Kick the door if you dare. Shisheng moved aside and pointed at the locked door. Su Muyuan was speechless. Xiaobao was speechless. Sister Lan, you will get beaten up easily. Su Muyuan saw that there were many people in the restroom next door, and it was very messy. That was why he went to the empty restroom. As a senior, shouldn't Miss Lan show some manners? Su Muyuan's eyes were slightly cold. Sorry, I don't have that. Shisheng put his hands on his waist. Are you going to kick it or not? If you have manners, why are you arguing with I? Such a powerful CEO. Can't you go to the side and kick those people out? Su Muyuan looked at the door in front of him and felt that there was something wrong with this woman's words. She seemed to be waiting for him to kick it. He stared at Shisheng for a few seconds. Finally, he carried Wen Xiao and turned to leave. Shisheng's face was full of pity. If he dared to kick it, she dared to extort money from him. Don't talk about conscience and moral integrity with this scumbag. Those things have long been crushed into powder and eaten by dogs. When he went out, a tall man with flowers walked towards him. The huge bouquet blocked the man's face. Both of them brushed past each other. Su Muyuan frowned and turned back to look at the man who had walked into the set with the bouquet. Asterisk little fairy. I give you flowers, you give me tickets. Chapter 506. Gucci's appearance on the set was definitely out of Shisheng's expectation, especially with such a huge bouquet of flowers. Male god strength is at its peak. Oh my god, he's so handsome. He's even more handsome in person than in photos. Male god must be handsome. Only then he's worthy of male god. True. I can't take it anymore, I'm going to faint. Gucci walked to Shisheng amidst the screams of a group of female staff. The bright bouquet made his face look like a special effect. For you. Gucci handed the bouquet over. Shisheng took it with a smile and pulled Gucci's collar. Gucci cooperated and lowered his head. Their lips touched. Screams came one after another, along with the sound of shutters being pressed. Without exception, Shisheng was on the headlines again. A group of fans spammed 999 below. It was no pressure at all to be on the headlines. Chen Yuan had already given up. At least it's not a bad thing to be on the headlines on the first day. In the lounge, Shisheng put the bouquet away. Why are you here? I missed you. Gucci did not hide his fondness for her. I've been a little busy these days. She was in a rush for filming these days, so she did not go home late at night. Did you not sleep at night again? Gucci looked away and did not answer. I knew it. Due to Wen Xiao's injury, the director could only shoot other people's scenes first, freeing up some time for Shisheng. Gucci and she went out for a walk, then they were all on the hot topics. Male God's fans expressed. Our male God has already booked the first day. Other artistes expressed. Looks are a shortcoming. At night, someone commented on Su Muyuan's and Gucci's appearances on the set. The person who posted it probably did not have any bad intentions, but the fans from both sides suddenly started arguing. The news that was previously suppressed by Su Muyuan was also brought up in this argument, saying that Wen Xiao was a scheming B*TCH who climbed into Su Muyuan's bed. Wen Xiao's fans immediately fought back, saying that Shisheng also climbed into Gucci's bed. Gucci's identity was no secret. He was the young master of Huanyu Corporation. Every strand of his hair was worth thousands of dollars. Shisheng's fans were not convinced. Their idol was with Gucci, but he was also a person of status. Besides, she was already a movie queen when she was not with Gucci. Why would she need to climb into Gucci's bed? Wen Xiao's fans also said that it was all because of her family's wealth that made her famous. If her family wasn't rich, how could she be so popular? Was it their idol's fault that he was rich? Why was her Prince Charming so strange? You didn't reincarnate well, and now you're blaming others for it? If you guys are so awesome, why don't you go and save the solar system? Thus, the two sides engaged in a catfight that attracted the attention of countless netizens. Chen Yuan cried until she fainted in the bathroom. #my artist is always causing trouble. #who is better at stirring up trouble? Huanyu's Gu family is looking for a male god. Chen Yuan's conversation when she entered the company was like this. Colleague A. Sister Chen, did Prince Charming cause trouble today? Colleague B. Sister Chen, your idol is in the headlines again. Colleague C. Sister Chen, can you let our idol make the headlines? Colleague D. Sister Chen, Prince Charming blah blah blah. The catfight ended a few days later because there was no main character to join in. The entertainment industry was like this. As long as there was something new, the topic would change quickly. Wen Xiao returned to the set for filming, but the progress was as slow as usual. Shisheng was playing games on his phone while Wen Xiao was being scolded by the director. Shisheng even gave Wen Xiao a sympathetic cry. Since Wen Xiao returned, her condition was not right. This had nothing to do with her. It was Wen Xiao's own condition that was not right. Kakaka, that's all for today. The director threw the loudspeaker angrily. Everyone looked at the broken loudspeaker on the ground in silence. Director, the loudspeaker was also very expensive. When Xiao walked past Shisheng, she suddenly paused. Lansheng, what did I do to offend you? Shisheng, wasn't it you who had been stealing my scenes? How did it become her fault? Professional scapegoat for 100 years. Scapegoat Sheng expressed her dissatisfaction. However, before she could say anything, she heard Wen Xiao said in a very firm tone. Lansheng, I will definitely surpass you, let's wait and see. It's my honor. She was proud to be the role model of the female lead. Asterisk flips table asterisk proud my ass. The female lead was going to fight head-on. Come on, let's fight head-on. Wen Xiao left full of fighting spirit. Shisheng pouted, finished the rest of the filming, and was ready to go home. After removing her makeup, she received a call from Gu Hao, asking if Shisheng could bring Gucci home for dinner. Shisheng asked him why. Gu Hao then told her that it was Gucci's birthday today. Gucci's birthday? Shisheng's expression was weird for a while. She remembered that Gucci's birthday on his ID card was not today. Shisheng returned to the apartment and found the door open. There were all kinds of noises inside. A group of non-mainstream people with different hair colors were walking around the house. Sister-in-law is back. Hello, sister-in-law. Hello, sister-in-law. The hooligans greeted Shisheng with smiles on their faces. It was not their first time here. Since someone was in charge of cleaning up, Shisheng did not mind. Goddess, you're back. I was just about to call you. Lin Nan squeezed out from the group of punks. It's boss's birthday today. Goddess, what are you going to give him? Shisheng was speechless. It's really Guqi's birthday. Shisheng pulled Lin Nan to a corner. It's not today on Guqi's ID card. So, Goddess, you don't know that it's boss's birthday today? Shisheng nodded honestly. What Gu Hao told her just now did not count. Lin Nan looked around like a thief, then pulled Shisheng into the bathroom. It's a long story. I'll make it short. Boss's birthday is indeed on the day of his ID card, but today is his mother's death anniversary. Ever since his mother passed away, Boss has insisted on celebrating his birthday on this day. Why? Lin Nan scratched his head. Do you know how his mother died? Shisheng shook her head. She knew that Guqi's mother was dead. Guqi's father never remarried, and there were no other women outside. Don't tell anyone that I told you. Lin Nan lowered his voice. 10 years ago, his mother and Boss were kidnapped at the same time. His mother was stabbed more than 20 times in order to protect him. Shisheng was shocked to hear such a thing. After a while she said, so Guqi's current state is related to this incident? Lin Nan shook his head. The only change is that Boss changed his birthday to today. Guqi had been like this since he was young. The Gu family worried a lot about this, but nothing changed. It was as if he was born with no feelings. He could not get close to anyone. He had been with Guqi for so many years, but he had never seen him smile or get angry. It was as if the things they called feelings were like dust in his eyes. They had no effect at all. Asterisk hashtag suddenly I feel sorry for Guqi hashtag. Chapter 507. After those people left, Shisheng brought Guqi to the Gu family's house. On the way he called the Gu family. The Gu family welcomed their young master with great enthusiasm. Shisheng was so shocked that he thought he walked into the wrong house. Guqi, on the other hand, held his hand calmly and walked inside. Little young master, little young madam. The butler bowed slightly. It was just right. Shisheng was speechless. What kind of joke is young mistress? There were not many people in the villa's hall. They were the ones he saw last time. Brother, why is Lan Qing here too? Babe. Lan Qing stood up to give Shisheng a loving hug and a kiss at the same time. Guqi waited for Lan Qing to let go of Shisheng, then pulled him into his arms and wiped Shisheng's cheeks with his hand. Lan Qing was speechless. Kissing my baby sister was rejected. Brother-in-law, you're awesome. Lan Qing pulled Shisheng to his side. Guqi was afraid that he would hurt Shisheng, so he let go of his hand first. Brother, what are you doing? No, why are you here? Oh, I'm here to discuss a collaboration with Gu Hao. You called him just now and told him to bring him back, so he asked me to come over. Lan Qing rubbed Shisheng's head. Are you tired recently? Let me see. Why do you look so pale? Did you not sleep well recently? Let me tell you, you're not married yet. You can't give me a nephew. Lan Qing activated his nagging mode. Brother, I'll go say hi to Grandpa Gu first. Shisheng slipped away. Hey you little girl. You don't listen to me anymore, do you? Lan Qing grabbed Guqi and started nagging again. Let me tell you, I only have one baby sister. You have to take good care of her. Even if you're cold, you can't let my baby be cold. After greeting everyone in the Gu family, Grandpa Gu gave her a big gift. Grandpa, I guess you're not short of money, so I won't give you those vulgar gifts. Grandpa Gu sighed. Grandpa, don't worry. I'll take good care of him. Old Master Gu smiled and patted Shisheng's head. This child has a tough life. I'll have to trouble you in the future. This is the first time I've seen Xiaoqi so close to someone. All they gave him was a pile of money and a cold life. They wanted to give him warmth, but he couldn't feel it at all. He wasn't avoiding it on purpose. He was born this way. But the girl in front of him was different. He could walk into Guqi's heart. She was different to Guqi. After Old Master Gu finished speaking, Mr. Gu called Shisheng aside. Little Shen, can I call you that? Of course. Shisheng nodded with a smile. Mr. Gu and Old Master Gu heaved a long sigh. Xiaoqi is unlucky. I've never seen him smile before. When he was young, he was different from other children. Other children would be happy for half a day just because of a candy or a hug, but he always acted like a little adult. He didn't cry or make a fuss, just looked at them coldly. We did everything we could, but we couldn't even get her to smile at us. Later, we thought as long as he lived well, everything would be fine. Mr. Gu took a deep breath. But you appeared. You may not know, but the first time I saw you was many years ago. At that time, you were only 15 or 16 years old. You were a very energetic girl. It was the Spring Festival 5 years ago. Lansheng was lucky enough to be on the Spring Festival Gala. The Gu family had a tradition of watching the Spring Festival Gala together. All the family members gathered together. Gucci hadn't moved out yet. He sat alone in a corner, playing games as if it had nothing to do with him. The first time he looked up, it was Lansheng's performance. Then he put down the game console and walked to the middle seat. After the show, he asked Gu Hao who she was. Lansheng wasn't very popular at that time, so Gu Hao didn't know her. Later, Mr. Gu called his acquaintances in the TV station to find out her name. At that time, he just asked for her name and didn't do anything else. They observed for a few days and didn't find anything different, so they didn't pay much attention to it. Not long ago, he heard that Gucci was dating Shisheng. Mr. Gu wanted to check Shisheng's information, but was stopped by Gucci. He asked around and remembered what happened that night. Sorry to trouble you, Xiaoqi. Mr. Gu's last sentence was very solemn, but it was the same as what Old Master Gu said. The birthday celebration was very grand, but Gucci was expressionless. He looked at them coldly and wished him well. As the future brother-in-law, Lanqing was taken care of by the Gu family. In the end, he got drunk. When the party ended, it was already very late. Everyone drank, so Shisheng and Gucci could only stay at the Gu family's house for one night. Gucci's room was cleaned every day, so he could stay there directly. The two went into the room to wash up. Shisheng went to bed first after washing up. Gucci came out after washing up. Not happy. Shisheng saw Gucci's expression was a bit strange. Gucci walked to the window and pulled the curtains. With his back facing her, he kept silent for a long time before saying, Lin Zainan told you everything? Yes. Gucci turned around and walked toward Shisheng. He climbed onto the bed, held her in his arms and rested his chin on her head. Shisheng put her hands on his waist and let him hug her. About 5 minutes later, he said, I should be the one who died, but she stood in front of me. I don't understand. Shisheng patted his back. This is a kind of love. Just like how you like me, she likes you too. Silence. I don't treat her well. It's not contradictory. It doesn't mean that if you treat someone well, they have to treat you well. She's your mother. This kind of relationship is known as the greatest love in the world. She loves you very much. Shisheng's heart was filled with chicken soup. She felt that she could be a caring sister. I'm just so all-round. Gucci suddenly tightened his arms. Every night when I close my eyes, I can see her lying in front of me with blood all over her body. The strings in Shisheng's mind tightened. Gucci didn't suffer from insomnia? Was it a psychological barrier? No wonder Gucci still couldn't fall asleep every night after all her efforts. He didn't dare to sleep at all. That's troublesome. Shisheng raised her head and kissed Gucci. Gucci responded softly to her. The next morning, Shisheng unfortunately had 2 dark circles under her eyes when she woke up. Shisheng felt that it was torture to sleep with her man, but not be able to do anything. Shisheng called Chen Yuan to ask for Dr. Wei's phone number before Gucci woke up. After making an appointment with him, she looked at the time. Gucci should wake up when she came back. Shisheng went out of the room carefully and met Gu Hao outside. Xiaosheng, you're up so early? Don't young people like to sleep in? Good morning, brother. I have to meet someone later. Shisheng and Gu Hao went downstairs together. Where are you going? I'm going to the office. I can give you a lift on the way. Shisheng told him the name of a place. Gu Hao thought for a while and roughly remembered where it was. It's on the way. I'll give you a lift after breakfast. Thank you, brother. Gu Hao smiled gently. Don't mention it. We're family. Is Xiaoqi still not awake? Isn't he going with you? Yeah, I'll come back to pick him up after I'm done. Don't. It's always the boys taking care of the girls. Gu Hao shook his head helplessly. Shisheng smiled and replied, I'm willing to take care of him. Her man was meant to be spoiled. Hashtag today's apple-flavored ticket hashtag. Chapter 508. Shisheng went to see Dr. Wei. However, he did not get much useful information. Dr. Wei had only met Guqi a few times. Guqi was probably the strangest patient Dr. Wei had ever seen. He could fall asleep easily during the day, but he could not sleep at night. Dr. Wei had asked him to come over at night and hypnotize him. However, hypnosis did not work on him. In Dr. Wei's words, he was like a cold machine. There were no emotions that a human should have in him. Shisheng and Dr. Wei parted ways and went back to the Gu family. Su family's villa. Su Muyuan was flipping through the documents in his hand. Two men in suits were sitting on the sofa opposite him. Their bodies were stiff and their expressions were nervous. Slap. Both of them were shocked at the same time and lowered their heads. Su Muyuan's face was gloomy. This is what you've done. President Su. One of them said under pressure. Those shareholders don't have a lot of shares. They don't need to report to the headquarters for the transfer of shares. It's not a lot, but they have 15% in total. Both of them dared not to speak anymore. 15% was not a lot, but Su Muyuan only had 13% in total. He had always wanted to acquire the shares from those small shareholders. However, they either asked for a high price or did not want to sell at all. Now, it had been sold off without a sound. How could Su Muyuan not be angry? Good job, Lan Sheng. Su Muyuan looked at the magazine on the coffee table. It was the promotional picture of Proud Son. President Su. Su Muyuan threw the magazine into the trash can. Make an appointment with Lan Sheng. Su Muyuan was about to make an appointment with Shisheng, but Shisheng had already made an appointment with another shareholder. The shareholder only sent an agent to negotiate. Miss Lan, I don't understand. These shares are very valuable. Why do you? Shisheng raised his eyebrows. You're pleasing to the eye. Isn't it good to sell them to you at a low price? Don't take a reward for nothing, Miss Lan. We all understand this principle. The other party was obviously very cautious. With so many shares, even if she asked for a high price, there would be people who would want it. However, she sold them to him at a price lower than the market price. Forget it, there are people who want it. Shisheng got up and was ready to leave. It wasn't that she couldn't sell these things. Just as she said earlier, the other party had the most shares and looked more pleasing to the eye. She did not buy these shares at a high price. The price she sold them at was enough to recoup her losses. As for what methods he would use, of course, it was the old way. As long as there were humans, there would be ghosts. Even ghosts couldn't defeat fists. Wait! The man stopped Shisheng. I need to ask for instructions. After all, the amount you're offering is not a small sum. 3 minutes. The other party nodded and left with his phone. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The other party came back from outside. Our boss wants to talk to you personally about this matter. Is it convenient for Miss Lan now? Shisheng looked at the time and wrote down the address of the apartment on a napkin. It's not convenient. Tell him to find me here. The agent. Your attitude is really. Shisheng didn't stay for a second longer. He got up and left. However, she had a bargaining chip in her hand. Even if the other party was unwilling, he could only make a trip himself. The negotiation process went smoothly. Who would reject money that was given to them? The change of shares also represented the change of the company's core members. Shisheng's purpose of doing this was to warn Su Muyuan. If he dared to touch Lan Qing and Guqi, the consequences would not be as simple as the change of shares. Su Muyuan did settle down and focused on supporting Wen Xiao. After Shisheng's movie ended, Wen Xiao quickly became popular under Su Muyuan's support. From an 18th tier star to a 3rd tier star. It was said that she was nominated for the Best Newcomer Award at the Golden Flower Film Festival. The Golden Flower Film Festival was considered a relatively authoritative institution in the country. If she really won the Best Newcomer award, Wen Xiao would be promoted to a second-tier star, and her value would double. Shisheng, the movie queen, was also nominated. Chen Yuan, a busy person, naturally came personally at this time. The organizer called me just now and transferred your position to the front. Shisheng held a small mirror and looked left and right. Why? Shouldn't a big shot like me be the last to appear? Chen Yuan. Can you be more narcissistic? The organizer told me to let you warm up for the first half of the show. Shisheng threw the small mirror away. You believe that? Of course I don't. Chen Yuan immediately expressed her position. But this was arranged by the organizer. I can't say anything. I heard that a few artists were transferred. Shisheng rolled her eyes at Chen Yuan. When she was about to say something, someone knocked on the car window. Chen Yuan looked out of the car window and frowned. Who is this person? Shisheng rolled down the car window directly. Lin Zainan's smiling face was immediately colored. Goddess, the boss is over there. He wants you to sit in his car. Although he was not in the entertainment industry, as the young master of the Gu family, many people wanted to see him walk on the red carpet. The organizer would definitely not reject him. Shisheng lifted her skirt and was about to get out of the car. Chen Yuan pulled her. Who is he talking about? How can my artist just go with someone else, especially at this time? Gucci, Mr. Gu, go ahead. Chen Yuan's expression changed immediately. Good luck. Shisheng was speechless. He did not expect Sister Chen to be like this. Gucci's car was parked slightly behind. His appearance would definitely be late. When Shisheng went over, it attracted some people's attention. They all looked at the car curiously, but they could not see anything. Shisheng got into the car. Gucci rarely dressed formally. He naturally hugged Shisheng and kissed her on the lips. He was probably afraid of messing up her makeup, so he did not go further. Why are you here? I want to be with you. Gucci said softly. I can't leave you. Flirting at the drop of a hat. Gucci said seriously. Then don't leave. Boss goddess, I'm still here. Lin Zainan's resentful voice came from the front. Do they think I'm invisible? The single man got a huge blow. Such public displays of affection will lead to a quick death. Gucci did not say anything. Shisheng and Lin Zainan chatted for a while. Time passed quickly. Soon it was Gucci's turn. As Shisheng was in Gucci's car, Chen Yuan contacted the organizer. The organizer could not say anything. After all, he was the young master of the Gu family. It was better not to offend him. The car stopped at the entrance. Reporters from all parties were looking forward to it. They did not know who was sitting in the cars beforehand. It was like opening an Easter egg, expecting a surprise in each car. #1111 spreading dog food #cherub. You'll get beaten up if you do this. Little fairy. I'm not afraid 233333 cherub. You don't want the tickets anymore? Little fairy. I won't say anything. Chapter 509. Gucci got off the car first. Once he appeared, some people recognized him and took photos of him. The young master of the Gu family was here. Lanxing must be in the car. Gucci went to the other side of the car, opened the door, bent down slightly and reached out his hand. The reporters suddenly quieted down, waiting for the person inside to come out. First, a fair little hand appeared in everyone's sight, then a blue skirt slid out of the car. The skirt covered her feet, and the person inside stood up slowly. A blue V-neck dress with hand-embroidered patterns like a phoenix spreading its wings. Different from other artists, her V-neck was not exposed at all. Everything that should be covered was covered. But when she stood there was a kind of aura that made people unable to take their eyes off her. Gucci put Shisheng's hand in his arm and walked on the red carpet with her. Prince Charming, look here. Ah, I see a living Prince Charming, so handsome. Shisheng's fans stood outside the cordon and screamed excitedly. There were a few minutes of stop time on the red carpet. Shisheng smiled and waved at them. She brought Gucci to another direction so that the fans could take better photos. Remember to take good photos of us. Several reporters were speechless. Prince Charming, look here. How can the photos taken by fans be better than those taken by professionals? Do you still want to be on the headlines? The fans took photos of Shisheng and Gucci seriously with their mobile phones. Prince Charming, don't worry, I will add special effects for you. The kind that costs $100. Prince Charming, can you kiss Prince Charming Gu? I want to see it. Kiss, kiss. Shisheng looked at Gucci helplessly. Gucci frowned slightly, probably because he did not like this kind of occasion. He looked at the fans who were shouting slogans, lowered his head slowly and gave Shisheng a peck on the lips. On the red carpet, a guy lowered his head and kissed a girl. The lighting engineer shone all the lights on them. The scene was as beautiful as a fairy tale. The two kissed for a short time. The reporters did not react. Did they really kiss? But the fans were prepared and were honored to take photos. The poor reporters were blocked by the fans and did not manage to take any photos. The fans and reporters already had a clear position, so they couldn't squeeze in even if they wanted to. In the end, they could only ask the fans if they could send them a copy of the photo. As a professional reporter, she actually had to ask for photos from a fan. What was even more infuriating was that this group of fans actually refused to sell it. How could their Prince Charming be tarnished with money? Only diamonds could match up to their Prince Charming's aura. What kind of person would have what kind of fans? What kind of saying was that? In the end, the reporter found the picture on Weibo. She was just a walking best actress who abused dogs. Why would she need them? Her fans would send her to the headlines in minutes. After entering the venue, more and more people came to greet Shisheng, including the directors, scriptwriters, and investors of various film crews. Of course, there were also many who came for Gucci. However, young Master Gu's face was cold and indifferent, so no one dared to talk to him. They could only exchange a few words with Shisheng. Prince Charming. Qingqiu squeezed through the crowd. Shisheng's mouth twitched. You're nominated too? Qingqiu raised her chin with a look of contempt. Although I'm materialistic, my writing is not bad. Isn't it normal to be nominated? This is your man? Qingqiu walked around Gucci, took out her phone and smiled. Prince Charming, let's take a few photos together. It was all about money. It could be sold for a lot of money, and it could be copied infinitely. That's enough. My man's photos are not for sale. Shisheng saw through Qingqiu's intention at a glance. Stingy. Qingqiu was a little unwilling. She stretched out a finger. Just one photo. Promise you won't sell it. Okay, I won't sell it. I'll take it back and frame it. I'll encourage myself to find such a handsome Prince Charming in the future, okay? Shisheng exposed. Then take nude photos all day and sell them? Qingqiu was shy. What kind of truth are you talking about? A moment of silence for this girl's future man. Qingqiu was not poor. Judging from her behavior, she was a girl with a good upbringing. Moreover, she earned a lot of money herself. But this girl was obsessed with money all day long. She was always excited when money was mentioned. Don't even talk if you don't have money. Come on, find a good one. Qingqiu handed the phone to Shisheng, then walked to Gucci. Shisheng shook his head helplessly. Seeing that Gucci did not object, he opened his camera and took a photo of them. Qingqiu took the photo and ran away happily. Shisheng was speechless. Qingqiu ran back again before she could recover from her shock. She automatically made a pose beside Shisheng. With a click, she kept her phone and left in one smooth motion. Shisheng was speechless. Didn't we agree on it before? Why did it go wrong now? A few staff members hurriedly ran past Shisheng. Shisheng soon heard people discussing. Meng Shiran was arguing with the organizer because of her appearance. Meng Shiran was the girl who fought with the female lead for a room in the hotel. This girl seemed to be busy with filming for the past year, and did not find fault with the female lead. Since she met her here, she would definitely do her best to find fault with her. Shisheng heard that Meng Shiran only stopped when Su Muyuan stepped in. But her appearance was mentioned before Wen Xiao's. It was not over yet. When Wen Xiao walked on the red carpet, she met crazy fans. It was said that the shoulder straps of her dress were torn off. When the ceremony started, Su Muyuan brought the female lead into the venue. Fortunately, the lights were gathered on the stage at this time. The light below the stage was not very bright, so no one noticed them. So who will win the Best Newcomer award? Brother Xiaokai, how can you peek? Show me who it is. The host's playful voice spread through the venue through the microphone. Don't snatch it. I can't run away with the Best Newcomer award. After some jesting, the host finally got to the point. This year's Best Newcomer award, Wen Xiao. The big screen behind immediately showed Wen Xiao's photos. There were stills and art photos. The lights gathered on Wen Xiao. Wen Xiao bowed gratefully and walked to the podium. The host handed the stage to Wen Xiao. Wen Xiao's acceptance speech was short and concise. She did not lose her composure like other artists. She was calm from the beginning to the end. Okay, next is our best screenwriter. Unsurprisingly, Qing Qiu the Gold Digger won this award. Finally, this year's Best Actress award. I wonder who will win it this year. I'm looking forward to it. Let me see who it is. The host unwrapped the card and slowly opened it while the crowd held their breaths. This year's Best Actress award is Chapter 510. Meng Shiran. The audience was silent for a few seconds. Many people looked at Shisheng. Everyone thought it would be Shisheng, but it turned out to be Meng Shiran. Clap, clap, clap. After a few seconds, the applause seemed to have slowed down. Meng Shiran's originally somewhat ugly expression. Only then did it become better. Guqi held Shisheng's hand. Shisheng turned around and gave Guqi a faint smile. The camera happened to capture this scene. The fans who were watching the live broadcast were angry at first, but they were shocked when they saw this scene. The bullet screen instantly filled the whole screen. With Prince Charming Gu can defeat everyone in seconds. A Golden Flower award is nothing. Our Prince Charming is aiming for an Oscar. An Oscar +1. Come on, Prince Charming, we love you forever. After the award ceremony ended, the people in the venue left slowly. They still had to be interviewed outside. Usually, only the winners would leave from the main entrance. Those who did not win would choose to leave from the back. However, Shisheng and Guqi appeared at the main entrance. The reporters immediately focused their attention on them. Miss Lan, when is your wedding with Mr. Gu? May I ask, Miss Lan, why are you with Mr. Gu? Miss Lan, may I ask? All kinds of questions were thrown at them. Some were good, some were bad. Shisheng did not want to answer these people's questions. He prepared to leave with the escort of the venue's security. However, Guqi suddenly took away a reporter's interview microphone. The reporters who were still asking questions suddenly quieted down. My wedding with Lan Sheng will be held at the end of this year. Thank you for your concern. Guqi said and returned the microphone to the reporter. He protected Shisheng and walked out. When they passed by the fans, Shisheng and Guqi stopped for a while. A group of reporters looked at Shisheng strangely, who was communicating well with the fans. So they can't win against a group of fans? No, Guqi just answered the question. They are holding their wedding at the end of the year? Prince Charming, can I have your autograph? The fan asked with a blushing face. Sure, where should I sign? The little fan pointed at her clothes. Shisheng took the pen from the fan and signed his name on the fan's clothes. Come one by one. There was no time limit for the fans to leave the venue, so Shisheng signed autographs for all the fans present. Fortunately, there weren't many people at the venue. Otherwise, the Shisheng wouldn't be able to finish signing. After signing the autograph, they wanted to take photos together. Some were taken with Shisheng alone, and some were taken with Shisheng and Guqi together. At the end, there was a group photo. Alright, it's getting late. Let's hurry back. Be careful on the road. Shisheng waved at them with a pile of gifts in his arms. The fans left reluctantly. Prince Charming is so handsome and so gentle. If only I were a boy. Prince Charming Gu is so blessed. Yes. Prince Charming Gu must have saved the Milky Way in his previous life. It has to be at least the solar system. I want to go back and show off the autograph and photo that the goddess gave me. Ha ha ha. Those who didn't come will be so jealous. Me too. What was the highlight of the Golden Flower Awards? It wasn't about who won the Best Actress award. It was the headline of Gucci and Lan Shen's upcoming wedding. The two of them were inhumane when it came to abusing dogs. Now they were actually getting married. Usually, artists would choose to get married at a later date to attract more fans. However, after the news of Sheng and Gucci's upcoming wedding was released, the number of fans increased instead of decreasing. People from all parties hated this evil society based on appearances. The netizens expressed a lot of doubts about the Golden Flower Awards. Why didn't their Prince Charming win the Best Actress award? Why? Shady. It's definitely shady. The official explanation of the Golden Flower Awards came out quickly, stating that it was the result of multiple selections by the judges. Of course, the fans didn't believe it. They started to post comments under the official blog. Before this matter was exposed, the official blog of the Entertainment Express suddenly released a list of nominees for the Academy Awards. The film Proud Son and Sheng's name were on the list. The fans immediately went crazy. Even without the Golden Flower Awards, we still have the Oscars. Their Prince Charming was the best. Sheng also received a call from Chen Yuan and told her about the news. Even if she didn't win an Oscar this time, the foreign circle had already sent her invitations. Shen, I can't keep up with your pace. You're so fast. Chen Yuan finally complained and decided to recharge her batteries. Chen Yuan handed over all the artists under her to other people and focused on managing Sheng again. She did everything by herself so that she wouldn't go to the heavens just because of a disagreement. Bah, she meant to make the headlines. However, despite Chen Yuan's precautions, her artists still maintained the trend of being on the hot topics for 3 days and on the headlines for 5 days. The fans on the internet now called her the Prince Charming who took over the headlines. The TV series of the Republic of China that Sheng invested in started broadcasting. The first few episodes were well received, but towards the end, the audience felt that something was wrong. Who was the female lead? Why did the second female lead have more scenes than the female lead? Where did the male lead go? The female lead was bullied to such an extent, but he didn't come out. Wasn't the second female lead a gentle and lovely person? Why did it seem so wrong? Although she looked gentle and lovely in the show, she gave them a feeling of aggressiveness. The female lead was pitted, the male lead was despised, and the second female lead was scolded. When Xiao looked at the comments on the internet and laughed at herself, I didn't expect her intention to add scenes for me to be this. She added a lot of scenes, but they were basically a few more sentences or a few more actions. It didn't seem like much, but when it was connected, it was particularly thought-provoking. The man beside Wen Xiao raised his head slightly. It's not shameful to be defeated by her. When Xiao looked at Su Mu Yuan, her expression was a bit unpleasant. You mean I'm not as good as her? Su Mu Yuan thought for a while and nodded. Wen Xiao's eyes were filled with unwillingness. She would surpass her one day. Lan Shen, wait and see. Because of the bad reviews of the show, those who wanted to use Wen Xiao started to decline. Su Mu Yuan used the company's resources to help Wen Xiao keep some. But the content was completely different from what Wen Xiao wanted. However, if she didn't accept, she wouldn't have any scenes. After a day of work, Wen Xiao went back to rest tiredly. When the elevator door opened, the person inside made Wen Xiao stunned. Wen Xiao, long time no see. Jiang Baiyu came out of the elevator, smiling elegantly. Wen Xiao naturally didn't have a good impression of this scumbag she met in her previous life. She could only blame herself for not seeing through people in her previous life. She was blind to fall in love with him. Wen Xiao's face was cold. Mr. Jiang, excuse me. Wen Xiao. Jiang Baiyu blocked Wen Xiao. The expression on his face suddenly became affectionate. You don't have to be so distant, right? We've acted together before, so we can be considered friends. Wen Xiao wanted to go around Jiang Baiyu, but Jiang Baiyu's tall body blocked the elevator. Wen Xiao, I want to treat you to a meal. Chapter 511. Wen Xiao, shouldn't you explain? Su Mu Yuan slammed the newspaper in front of Wen Xiao. On the newspaper, Wen Xiao and Jiang Baiyu were hugging each other in an ambiguous posture. Wen Xiao frowned and explained, I just had a meal with him. You call this having a meal together? Su Muyuan pointed at the newspaper. The anger in his eyes almost burned through Wen Xiao. It's okay if you don't believe me. Huh? Su Muyuan sneered. Get out. Wen Xiao opened her mouth, but didn't continue to explain. She straightened her back and strode away. Wen Xiao and Jiang Baiyu's scandal suddenly became a hot topic. Jiang Baiyu always had a lot of scandals, but Wen Xiao was different. Wen Xiao was related to Su Muyuan. Wouldn't it attract people's attention if they suddenly had a scandal? In the following period, Jiang Baiyu and Wen Xiao were involved in several scandals. Even if Wen Xiao avoided Jiang Baiyu would always find a chance to be involved with Wen Xiao. Because of Jiang Baiyu's interference, Wen Xiao and Su Muyuan's relationship fell to the freezing point. Su Muyuan stopped all resources for Wen Xiao. He even secretly banned Wen Xiao. Wen Xiao's scenes were either cut off halfway, or when they were about to reach an agreement, the other party suddenly changed their mind. Wen Xiao was furious and went to Su Muyuan angrily. Miss Wen, you can't go in. When the secretary said this, Wen Xiao had already opened the door of the office. The scene inside was unobstructed. A woman sat on Su Muyuan's lap. Half of her breasts were exposed, rubbing against Su Muyuan's chest. Su Muyuan's hand was placed on the woman's waist. He wanted to push her away, but when he saw Wen Xiao coming in, he hugged her instead. From Wen Xiao's angle, it looked more like they were kissing. I'm sorry, President Su. The secretary bowed her head and apologized. Brother Su, can you accompany me to watch a movie tonight? The woman took the opportunity to hug Su Muyuan's neck. Okay. Su Muyuan responded. The woman immediately laughed. Then I won't disturb Brother Su. I'll come back later. The woman was about to get up but was firmly held in Su Muyuan's arms. Wen's expression was a bit ugly. Su Muyuan raised his head. His cold eyes swept across Wen Xiao and landed on the secretary. You can't even do this well. Go to the HR department to get your salary and leave. The secretary's face paled. Still not leaving? The secretary bit her lips and glared at Wen Xiao. It's all because of this woman. It wasn't easy for her to get into the company, but she was fired before she could even work for a month. She didn't do anything wrong. I barged in on my own accord. Don't fire her. Wen Xiao grabbed the secretary who was about to leave. Su Muyuan sneered. Wen Xiao, who do you think you are? The secretary's face turned even paler. She broke free from Wen Xiao's hand and ran outside. Su Muyuan, you. Call me President Su in the company. Su Muyuan interrupted Wen Xiao casually while playing with the woman's curly hair. The woman leaned on Su Muyuan's shoulder. Her probing eyes fell on Wen Xiao. Wen Xiao took a deep breath. Boss Su, why did you let another artist replace me? Are you questioning me? Su Muyuan's tone was colder than before. Wen Xiao tried not to look at the woman in Su Muyuan's arms. I just want to know the reason. Reason? Su Muyuan murmured and rubbed the woman's earlobe with his fingertips. Because your acting skills are not good enough. I wonder if Miss Wen is satisfied with this reason? Not good enough acting skills. Her acting skills had improved by leaps and bounds recently, much better than those newbies. He actually said that her acting skills were not good enough. If Wen Xiao still didn't know that Su Muyuan did it on purpose, she would have lived 2 lives in vain. Wen Xiao and Su Muyuan didn't come up with an explanation. Instead, she was stuffed with dog food by Su Muyuan and the woman. Coming out of the office, Wen Xiao's eyes were a little red. Since her rebirth, this was the first time she had the urge to cry. Wen Xiao's manager, Fong Liang, walked towards her. Brother Fong. Wen Xiao turned her back and wiped her eyes. I'm sorry for causing you trouble. Fong Liang patted her shoulder. I've got a movie for you, you can try it out. Thank you, Brother Fong. Let's go. Fong Liang sighed. He had been running around a lot to get her a movie recently. Now he finally got one. When Wen Xiao's career was at a low point, Shisheng and Guqi were still showing off their love every day. It was a piece of cake for her to make the headlines. The movies she got now were all about acting cool and acting cool. Acting as herself, it was a piece of cake. Sister Lan, why are you playing games again? How much did the game company pay you? Assistant Xiaobao looked at the gaming addict movie queen with a headache. Can you please pay attention to your image? Look at the busy people around. You're the only one squatting here with nothing to do, playing games like a village girl. Shisheng finished the last boss and shook his hot mobile phone. I haven't started shooting yet. Why are you rushing me? You're putting on makeup, Sister Lan. Xiaobao wanted to cry. Look at the other actors. Their makeup is done, but you haven't even changed your clothes. Shisheng got up slowly and walked to the makeup room with his mobile phone. When the makeup artist was doing her makeup, her eyes never left her mobile phone. The makeup artist secretly took a picture with her mobile phone and captioned it. The gaming addict Prince Charming. This Weibo post was quickly discovered by Prince Charming's fans and quickly became a hot topic. Netizen A. Prince Charming is playing games again. May I know which server he's on? Netizen B. I saw Prince Charming play last time and logged in as well. Unfortunately, I'm not good at it. I don't expect to level up and fight monsters anymore. I only hope to meet Prince Charming by chance. Netizen C. According to the analysis of the photo, Prince Charming's ID should be send you to heaven. But I don't know which server. Netizen D. It should be Shangshan Shui. I know the person next to her. After the analysis of the powerful netizens, Shangshan Shui's server suddenly flooded with players, causing the map to be stuck and the progress bar to be stuck. Some even went offline. The customer service was instantly besieged by players. Shisheng didn't turn off the friend requests, so when she finished shooting and logged into the game, she was dumbfounded when she saw 99 plus friend requests. She was just shooting a movie. Why did so many people add her? Looking at the world chat, Shisheng instantly understood. Her fans actually came to the game. It would be unreasonable if the game company didn't give her an endorsement fee. Shisheng didn't expect that the game company would really come to her the next day and ask her to sign a contract for the endorsement of a new profession and a promotional video. Shisheng didn't accept the endorsement of a new profession, only the advertisement. The planner heard from somewhere that Shisheng used to play games in the production team and immediately took over the story. It became an inspirational drama about an internet-addicted girl bravely entering the entertainment industry. The experts were among the people. Little fairy. Daughter, if you continue to be so addicted to games, you'll be sent to electrotherapy. Shisheng, where's I's sword? Little fairy, strike a balance between work and rest. You'll be more efficient. Chapter 512. Ever since Shisheng shot that weird and down-to-earth game promotional video, Shisheng had a new nickname. Internet addict Prince Charming. Hashtag the Prince Charming who doesn't forget to play games even during filming. Hashtag the daily filming routine of internet addict Prince Charming. Hashtag due to Shisheng's Brightman effect. The game company's originally lackluster games suddenly became popular. December. The anticipated end of the year had finally arrived. As Shisheng and Guqi had not announced their wedding date, fans spontaneously spread the news on the internet about which day was suitable for the wedding. There was a long list. Shisheng and Guqi were getting married. The Gu family and Lanqing naturally had to start preparing. Lanqing was actually very unwilling to let his baby marry Guqi. He had painstakingly raised his baby to be fair and plump, but before he could appreciate her enough, she was already taken by a pig. Although this pig was a golden pig, but he was still very unhappy. Therefore, Lanqing deliberately made things difficult for Guqi. He wanted everything to be unique. Guqi was probably afraid that Lanqing would not let Shisheng marry him, so he seriously completed the task given by his brother-in-law. From the wedding site selection to the wedding arrangements, wedding dress and car, Guqi and Lin Zainan completed everything by themselves. The guests were naturally handled by the Gu family and Lanqing. The Lan family did not have any relatives. Lanqing only invited business partners. Most of the guests were from the Gu family. Before that, there were also wedding photos. Miss Shisheng stand on the rock, Mr. Gu stand below. Miss Lan will jump down later. Can Mr. Gu catch her? The photographer directed Shisheng in the wedding dress to stand on the rock, then turned to ask Guqi. Guqi nodded slightly. Okay, get ready. The photographer said to himself. It's okay even if she falls. Shisheng was speechless. You're not the one who falls. The rock was not high. What the photographer wanted was probably the natural elegance of the wedding dress when Shisheng jumped down. Gucci raised his head slightly and looked at the woman standing against the light. His gray eyes were slowly dyed with bright colors. She was the girl he wanted. 3, 2, 1 jump. Shisheng jumped lightly, the tool fluttered in the sea breeze. Gucci opened his arms slightly and caught her easily. The gauze fell from the sky and covered their heads, blurring their figures. In the distance, white waves surged into the sky. Seagulls circled in the sky. Where the water met the sky, multicolored light shone for 10,000 zhang. The photographer crouched on the ground and quickly pressed the shutter. All right. The photographer got up from the ground. Miss Lan and Mr. Gu, let's change places. Gucci put the Shisheng down and slowly lifted the veil covering their heads. The cameraman's gaze paused, and he grabbed the camera to take a few more shots. These two people were simply the favorite of photographers. Any casual movement would create a perfect piece of work. By the time the wedding photo shoot was over, Shisheng was completely exhausted. It was even more tiring than filming. When they got home, Shisheng rushed straight to the bedroom. Seeing that she went to bed after taking a shower, Gucci also went to take a shower quietly. Then he climbed onto the bed and hugged the Shisheng. We're getting married. Yes. Compared to taking wedding photos, the wedding day was even more tiring. During the whole process, Shisheng had to change into no less than 5 sets of dresses. During the period, she had to deal with various people. If it weren't for Lan Qing and Gu Hao, Gucci and Shisheng probably wouldn't be able to go back at night. Gucci was unwilling to move, so the new house was still Gucci's original apartment. The Gu family sent people to redecorate it, making it look brand new and joyful. Shisheng took off her high heels and stepped on the cold ground barefoot. She felt comfortable. It's cold. Gucci walked to Shisheng and carried her. Shisheng hugged his neck and leaned forward to ask for a kiss. Gucci paused, his gaze was evasive. Are you hungry? He put Shisheng on the sofa. Yes. Shisheng nodded. Her calm eyes seemed to be rippling. Gucci lowered his head. I'll get you something to eat, wait for me. Shisheng grabbed Gucci's hand. But I want to. She knelt on the sofa. Her other hand slowly climbed onto Gucci's chest. Gucci's heartbeat was a little fast, his ears were hot. Shisheng held Gucci's shoulders with both hands, jumped from the sofa to him, and wrapped her legs around his waist. I want you. Shisheng, we're married. Gucci's breath was in a mess. He first kissed Shisheng carefully, then slowly went deeper. Their breaths intertwined, filling the room with love. Gucci hugged Shisheng, sitting on the bay window covered with a thick velvet blanket. It's snowing. Shisheng stretched out her hand and placed it on the cold glass. It was snowing outside, fluttering like goose feathers. Gucci hugged Shisheng even tighter. He was silent for a while, his voice was still hoarse from the ebb of passion. The second winter. She stayed with him for the second winter. Gucci bit her neck lightly. I'll stay with you for the rest of your life, every spring and summer, every autumn and winter. Shisheng shrunk her neck. Why does this guy like to bite me so much? Shisheng turned over and sat on Gucci's body. I can't sleep, let's do it again? Gucci stared at her for a few seconds, then suddenly carried her up and stuffed her into the quilt. Sleep. Shisheng was speechless. What happened to 7 times a night? Gucci. Mr. Gu. Mr. Gu? Gucci held down Shisheng's hands that were messing around on his body. Tomorrow. It was her first time, he didn't want to hurt her. Shisheng was really tired. She just wanted to tease Gucci, but Gucci couldn't. She curled up in his arms and fell asleep in a short while. Gucci was energetic. He stared at Shisheng until dawn before he fell asleep. Shisheng didn't win the Oscars, but Shisheng did open the door to international stardom. International blockbusters not only required acting skills, but also action scenes. Shisheng was a violent person. She was very suitable to be in international blockbusters. Although she didn't play the leading role in her first movie, she received a lot of good reviews abroad. She personally took part in all the action scenes. The petite girl had a strong explosive force. It was very impressive. However, Shisheng wasn't very popular. She even dared to steal the director's lines. In the crew, many people were scolded by her. She didn't care if you were a big shot or a local tycoon. If you provoked her, she would immediately explode. Most importantly, she spoke according to the person. Girls who looked cute, had a soft personality, and spoke nicely would often be taken care of in front of her. Girls who looked more flirtatious and were considered as stunners in the eyes of men would often not be treated well by her. Of course, nothing would happen if you didn't provoke her. Most of the time, she was playing games. Even a group of cute girls in the crew played with her. Therefore, the crew's daily routine was basically like this. Led by a good-looking girl, a few girls surrounded her and squatted on the set. Each of them had a mobile phone or tablet, and the background music of the game was comparable to noise. #hashtag today. Please grape-flavored tickets #hashtag Happy Chopping Hand Festival #hashtag the book review section will pick a lucky baby to send a big red packet #hashtag 2016. 11. 10 winner Sister Tangerine #. Chapter 513. When Shisheng was abroad. When Xiao was not having a good time. Jiang Baiyu had been pestering her and spreading rumors with her in various ways. Moreover, Jiang Baiyu was pursuing her openly. Jiang Baiyu's diehard fans naturally tried to defame her. There were also some extreme fans who sent her dead rats and razor blades. Let's meet up. When Xiao called Jiang Baiyu, she wanted to settle things with him today. Okay, where? Jiang Baiyu's voice was very gentle. When Xiao was about to tell him the address when she suddenly remembered that there were paparazzi outside. If she met Jiang Baiyu outside, she did not know what the paparazzi would say about her. After thinking for a while, when Xiao changed the address to her home. She had just changed the address and almost no one knew about it except her manager. Jiang Baiyu came quickly. Xiao, what's the matter? Jiang Baiyu acted like a Casanova. His words were full of concern. When Xiao took a deep breath and went straight to the point. Mr. Jiang, what do you want? Xiao, I just want to like you. I know that I have caused some trouble for you recently. I'm very sorry, I will go back and tell my fans. Jiang Baiyu was very sincere. When Xiao was deceived by him in her previous life. Of course she would not believe Jiang Baiyu. I don't like you, it's impossible for us. Mr. Jiang, please don't harass me in the future, okay? Jiang Baiyu lowered his head. His eyes flashed a ray of light. When he looked up again, his face was full of affection. Xiao, even if you don't like me, you can't stop me from liking you. What do you want? When Xiao was a little agitated. Her life in her previous life was ruined because of this scumbag. Would her life be ruined because of this scumbag too? Jiang Baiyu was sincere. Xiao, it's my freedom to pursue whoever I want. You can't deprive me of my right to pursue you. Jiang Baiyu stood up. I'll go first, Xiao, I won't give up. When Xiao looked at Jiang Baiyu leaving and kicked the sofa angrily. Coincidentally, she kicked her toe and cried out in pain. When Xiao had not figured out how to deal with Jiang Baiyu. The scandal of Jiang Baiyu meeting up at her house was spread again. There were even rumors of them living together. No matter how when Xiao tried to explain, it would be seen as a pale excuse by others. At this time, a netizen stood up and said that Jiang Baiyu did not have any scandals with other female artists except for his scandal with Wen Xiao. For a moment, everyone was guessing whether the two of them were truly in love. Wen Xiao started to panic. Why is the current development so similar to my previous life? Even if she was reborn, she still couldn't escape from Jiang Baiyu, this scumbag? When Shisheng returned to China, he heard the news that Su Muyuan was about to get engaged. Every male lead would definitely have a fiancé. Su Muyuan was no exception. On the day of the engagement, the male lead mysteriously disappeared, leaving his fiancé alone. Where did the male lead go? The male lead was stuck on the road. Of course, he wasn't going to attend the wedding. He was going to save the female lead. Before the wedding, Wen Xiao called Su Muyuan for help. At this time, it was the rush hour, and almost all the roads were congested. Su Muyuan pressed the horn anxiously, but there was no movement from the long line in front. He kept looking at the time and tapped his fingers on the steering wheel in frustration. In the end, he simply threw the car away. Be careful. Gucci stood under a low wall, opened his arms and frowned to remind the people above. Shisheng jumped down from the wall. How can I get hurt so easily? I don't want you to get hurt. Gucci patted the dust on her body and said in a serious tone. Shisheng raised his hands in surrender. Stop flirting with me. A few people jumped down from behind her, with colorful hair swaying. One of them went up to Shisheng to please him. Sister-in-law, it's done. They've already transferred the people. Shisheng nodded and took out some money from his pocket. Take this first, get the rest from Lin Zainan. Sister-in-law, it's our honor to work for you. Although they said so, they took the money quickly. Master Gu, sister-in-law will leave first. Shisheng nodded. After they left, Gucci hugged Shisheng and said slowly, what do you want to do? Just tell Lin Zainan. I'm worried. The female lead has such a strong aura. If these small fries were to do it, they would probably mess it up. Su Muyuan's engagement and Wen Xiao's kidnapping were in the plot. She just reminded the kidnappers that someone was coming and asked them to change their location quickly. Nothing else. Let's go home. Gucci touched Shisheng's head. He didn't ask anything about what she did. It seemed that even if she killed someone, he could get someone to deal with it. Carry me. Shisheng went behind Gucci and hugged his neck. Gucci squatted down slightly. Shisheng immediately climbed onto his back and rubbed his face on his neck. The two walked out of the alley slowly. Not long after they left, a figure rushed out from the other side. He supported himself on the wall beside him and took 2 breaths. He quickly looked around and chose a direction. Bumped into Prince Charming and Prince Charming Gu, forced to eat dog food again, although it's delicious. Role model couple out to torture single people again. Shouldn't your focus be on Prince Charming's return? Torturing dogs as soon as he came back. Prince Charming, you've changed. You don't love us anymore. The photo of Gucci carrying Shisheng was posted on the internet. So the fans on the internet swallowed a wave of PDA with a feeling of love and hate. However, Shisheng reposted a photo that was just released by the crew. Prince Charming has a new drama. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. When will it be released? May 20th. It's a good day, I have a date in City G. Boost the box office for Prince Charming. Prince Charming, I still love you and will stay by your side forever. Prince Charming, I still love you and will stay by your side forever. Shisheng threw his phone away and pounced on Gucci. He reached out and took off his clothes. Gucci put down the book in his hand. Aren't you tired after such a long flight today? Shisheng couldn't help but roll his eyes. He reached out and touched Gucci's crotch. Mr. Gu, your body is very honest. Gucci's ears turned red. His body trembled because of Shisheng's touch. Shin, don't. Don't what? Shisheng deliberately got close to Gucci and blew into his ear. Don't do this. Gucci's face was a little red. He wanted to move Shisheng's hand away. Shisheng pulled the blanket over him. Gucci wasn't as nervous as before, but his body was still tense. He moved a little uncomfortably. Shin. Shisheng rubbed him twice, then withdrew his hand and walked to the bathroom. I'm going to take a shower. Gucci was speechless. He looked at the blanket and sighed softly. Only care about the fire, not the fire. Chapter 5:14. Wen Xiao was no longer an unknown person that no one paid attention to. Once the video was released, it caused an uproar. Combined with the previous indecent photos of Wen Xiao and Su Muyuan, Wen Xiao was scolded after the video was released. In the video, Wen Xiao did not look like she was forced, so it must be voluntary. How dare she take such a video and post it on the internet? Wasn't she asking for a scolding? The video was too explicit and was soon banned by various websites. Unfortunately, no matter how fast it was deleted, it could not be faster than the right-clicking of thousands of netizens. The video was still widely circulated in private. Compared to others, Wen Xiao's video was obviously more exciting. After all, she was pretty. Wen Xiao was found 3 days later. She was a little delirious and was sent to the hospital for treatment. She was found to have taken illegal drugs. Su Muyuan went to the hospital to visit Wen Xiao a few times. Wen Xiao's face was pale, and she stayed alone in the isolation room. Su Muyuan always felt disgusted after watching Wen Xiao's video. Moreover, Wen Xiao's attitude was not good. Su Muyuan stopped visiting after a few times and only ordered his secretary to visit her regularly. The negative news about her was overwhelming. Wen Xiao did not even dare to look at her phone or TV. Xiao Qiao. Fong Liang came in from outside the ward with a thermos in his hand. The only person who stayed by her side now was probably Fong Liang, her manager. Brother Fong. Wen Xiao's eyes were wide open. She did not dare to blink. If she did, tears would fall out. The nurses who came to check on her were all looking at her with such a cry. Fong Liang patted Wen Xiao's shoulder. Fong Liang's 2 words seemed to have removed the last line of defense in Wen Xiao's heart. She first sobbed softly, then cried bitterly. She wanted to live a glorious life in this life, and let those who bullied her pay the price. But why did things turn out like this? Fong Liang hugged Wen Xiao and comforted her. It will pass. Outside the ward, Su Muyuan looked coldly, followed by his secretary who did not even dare to breathe. After a minute, Su Muyuan suddenly turned around. His aura was so cold that it could be used as a freezer. After Wen Xiao finished crying, Fong Liang started to ask, Xiao Qiao, do you remember what happened that day? Wen Xiao's eyes were filled with tears. After a while her voice was full of hatred. It was Jiang Baiyu. It's him. He ruined me in my previous life. It's still him in this life. Fong frowned. Xiao Qiao, are you sure? Wen Xiao nodded firmly. She had lived with Jiang Baiyu for so many years in her past life. She knew his habits and the way he spoke like the back of her hand. He had changed his voice and covered her eyes, but she knew that it was Jiang Baiyu. Are you really not going to call the police? This was already a crime, but she insisted on not calling the police. Wen Xiao's eyes were filled with hatred, and her face was slightly twisted. What you owe me, I will take it back personally. Fong Liang was frightened by Wen Xiao's appearance and found an excuse to leave. Wen Xiao knew that Su Muyuan sent someone to visit her, but she had never seen Su Muyuan. She called Su Muyuan at that time, but he didn't come to save her. At that time he should have been engaged. Thinking about it, how could he have come to save her? Wen Xiao was unconscious when she was transferred, so she didn't know that she was transferred. Naturally, she didn't know that Su Muyuan actually went to save her. Wen Xiao cooperated with the doctor's treatment. Since she was just addicted to drugs, it was not difficult for her to quit. But it was already 3 months later when she was discharged from the hospital. When she was in the hospital, she was almost completely isolated and did not receive any news from the outside world. As soon as it came out, a large amount of information rushed into his brain. Wen Xiao wanted revenge, so she didn't give up. She was still working hard to climb up. However, she didn't dare to use it now. The ones she dared to use were all vulgar films, either sex scenes or revealing a lot of her private parts. Wen Xiao didn't want to shoot these and refused. She didn't know who else she could look for. When she flipped through the phone book, she found Su Muyuan's number. She gritted her teeth and finally deleted the number. Looking back and forth, Wen Xiao only found Zhao Yinan's number. But when she called, it was Zhao Yinan's assistant who picked up. The assistant told her that Zhao Yinan was filming abroad and couldn't pick up the phone. Wen Xiao sneered and hung up the phone. Wasn't he just unwilling to pick up the phone because he saw that she was down and out? She didn't hesitate to delete Zhao Yinan's number too. However, Wen Xiao didn't know that Zhao Yinan was really filming. His assistant told him that Wen Xiao had called, so he immediately called Wen Xiao back. Maybe Wen Xiao had turned on the unknown phone's rejection function, so his call couldn't go through at all. Zhao Yinan couldn't leave for a while, so he could only ask his friends in the country to look for Wen Xiao. Wen Xiao didn't have much money with her. If she wanted to take revenge on Jiang Baiyu, she couldn't do it without money. But now that she couldn't get any roles, where could she get the money? Under all kinds of pressure, Wen Xiao finally accepted a vulgar film. Next is the bed scene. Everyone get ready. After the director yelled, all the departments started to move immediately. Wen Xiao was only wearing thin clothes. lying on the big bed with the male lead half kneeling on her. They were covered with a thin blanket, covering the important parts. The male lead secretly pinched Wen Xiao's waist when those people weren't looking. Wen Xiao's face changed and wanted to get up, but the director shouted to start. Kaka, Wen Xiao, what's wrong with you? What's with your expression? You're a couple now, not enemies. Do it again. The male lead always took advantage of Wen Xiao when the camera wasn't filming. Naturally, Wen Xiao couldn't get into the mood and was constantly shouted cut by the director. When she finally got into the mood, Wen Xiao suddenly felt the man's hand moving down. Wen Xiao reached out to stop the man. Don't move, there are so many people here, you don't want to be seen by them, right? The man whispered in her ear. Wen Xiao's eyes were red. She stared at the man fiercely, her body trembling slightly. Kaka, Wen Xiao, what are you doing? Is he your enemy? Do you want to kill him with your eyes? Watch your eyes, everyone get ready, do it again. The man moved maliciously. Wen Xiao's face changed slightly, she bit her lips to stop herself from making a sound. Only endless hatred left in her eyes. When the stage supervisor shouted to start, the man's movements were no longer covered. The director only thought that Wen Xiao got into the mood and didn't care much. Even if he knew, the director wouldn't interfere. It was unknown how many times the man had done this. When he changed his position, no one could tell. The thin blanket still covered the two of them tightly. Cherub. You're getting dirtier. Little fairy, no. I didn't write anything strange. 233333 Cherub. Does your daughter know you're so shameless? Shisheng. I don't want to talk to a retard. Fengxiai. My wife is right. Little fairy. Get out of here. Shisheng. I'll get out. Fengxiai. Go home and roll in the sheets. Fengxiai. Okay, my wife. Chapter 5:15. After the bed scene ended, the staff who cleaned up the bed saw the marks on the bed. Their expression changed. But no one said anything. Many artists had suffered losses in such a scene. But since they all accepted such scenes, they wouldn't care. Wen Xiao wanted to quit, but she had to pay the penalty for breaching the contract. She had no money to pay, so she had to do it. There was another boat scene, this time in the bathtub. The bathtub was filled with milk and flower petals. The camera couldn't capture the scene below. There were more positions available than on the bed. Once the scene ended, Wen Xiao left the crew immediately. She walked aimlessly. The bustling scene on the street made her feel a chill in her heart. She thought God gave her a second chance to take revenge, but she didn't expect the ending to be like this. Hurry, it's starting. Wen Xiao was bumped into a few times. A group of girls rushed in one direction. Wen Xiao looked over and saw a square with a stage in it. Wen Xiao followed the crowd and walked to the periphery of the stage. She saw the glamorous girl on the stage. Lansheng's fan meeting. Lansheng, the person she swore to surpass. Now she was standing on the international stage, an international superstar. She was the center of attention wherever she went. But what about her? She could only act in those vulgar films. Why did things turn out like this? She looked at the person on the stage and cried silently. But there was no regret in her tears, only unwillingness. His ears were constantly filled with noises from all around. Prince Charming, love is endless forever. Prince Charming, I love you. Ah, Prince Charming is looking at me. Prince Charming is so gentle. He looks so handsome when he smiles. After the fan meeting ended, Shisheng returned to the backstage dizzily. Gucci was waiting at the backstage and held her immediately. Shisheng put her whole weight on Gucci. It's so good to have you. She didn't even have to walk. Gucci patted her back and flipped through slowly. I'm the luckiest to have you. The staff backstage watched the two of them showing off their affection, and showing off their affection. They wanted to poke their eyes out. Can you spare a thought for us single dogs? The Dog Lover Association will talk to you. Shisheng forced himself to wait for Chen Yuan to finish negotiating with the staff. Before leaving with Gucci, there were only 2 or 3 reporters. Even if they waited here, they would only be able to take a few photos of the couple and nothing else. Therefore, the smart reporters left as soon as the event ended. Only a few reporters who were bored or liked Shisheng stayed. There were also some fans waiting outside. He's out. He's out. Quick, quick, quick. Don't let those fans get ahead of you. As long as there were fans around, reporters like them would not have a sense of existence. However, the number of fans was much larger than the number of reporters. They were still squeezed outside and could not enter at all. The reporters hugged each other and cried. Is that Wen Xiao? A sharp-eyed reporter saw Wen Xiao standing in the distance. Let's go and have a look. Wen Xiao turned and ran when she saw someone coming. Former young starlet turned into leading actress of a third-level film. This piece of news successfully grabbed the headlines. She didn't know where the reporters had found out about her scenes. He even analyzed her journey to stardom since her debut. President Su. The secretary looked at Su Muyuan cautiously. Su Muyuan pursed his lips. His eyes seemed to be filled with ice shards, freezing people to the core. The secretary swallowed her saliva. We found out that Jiang Baiyu and Miss Li were behind this. Get the car ready. Yes. Su Muyuan looked at the dilapidated old building in front of him. His expression was unpredictable. The secretary in front was tense. She couldn't guess what her president was thinking. After a long time, Su Muyuan opened the car door and walked upstairs. Room 205 on the third floor. The door was not closed tightly. There was a faint sound coming from inside. Su Muyuan's hand froze. He listened for a moment with a gloomy face. After confirming what the sound was, he smiled coldly. The secretary looked at Su Muyuan, who came down in less than 5 minutes. She was even more confused. What did the president do in such a short time? Go back to the company. Don't pay attention to her in the future. Su Muyuan ordered the secretary and closed his eyes. The secretary asked the driver to start the car immediately. She looked upstairs and shook her head slightly. 3 days later, someone found the bodies of Wen Xiao and Jiang Baiyu. There were traces of fighting at the scene. The specific cause of death needed further investigation. Su Muyuan was a little absent-minded when he heard the news. If he went in that day, would the ending be different? But it was only for a moment. They had too many things in the past. Shisheng had lived for a long time in this world. He probably had nothing to do except showing off his love, and occasionally acting in a pretentious show to attract a new wave of fans. The only thing that worried Shisheng was Guqi's erratic sleep schedule. Stop looking. Shisheng took the phone away from his hand. Go to sleep. Guqi hugged Shisheng and rubbed against him. His lips slowly moved up from her neck to her lips. He gently bit a few times. Shinshin. Shinshin. Shisheng was softened by his bite. Wait. That. Haha, it's not convenient today. Shisheng was embarrassed. Guqi glanced at her lower body and felt wronged. He hugged Shisheng and rubbed against her gently. Although it was not convenient, Shisheng was still taken advantage of. Guqi was much bolder than before. But when Shisheng teased him, he was still shy. Comfortable. Shisheng laid in Guqi's arms and asked him with a smile. Guqi's face was a little red. The desire in his eyes was getting stronger. He whispered, Shinshin, can you hurry up? But my hands are tired. Shisheng stopped and said naughtily. Guqi's breathing was a little heavy. He buried his face in Shisheng's neck. Then forget it. Shisheng chuckled. My Feng Ci should be like this. Cute and shy. Ding-ling. The doorbell rang. Guqi hugged Shisheng tightly. Don't open the door for them. Shisheng felt funny and kissed his face. Stop it. Guqi turned over and wrapped himself in the quilt. Shisheng. Shisheng went to the bathroom to tidy up before opening the door. Happy New Year, baby. Lan Qing held a big bouquet of flowers and squeezed in with a smile. A long line of Gu family members followed behind. Shisheng. Guqi didn't like to go back to the Gu family's house, so the Gu family shifted the battlefield here. Every New Year, a big wave of zombies would come to disturb her and Guqi Shisheng sighed and let them in. Grandpa, Dad, Happy New Year. What about me? Lan Qing was dissatisfied. He was the first one to give his blessing to his baby. Brother, Happy New Year. Shisheng hugged Lan Qing. Lan Qing then went to the kitchen to prepare the food. Shisheng went to the bedroom to get Guqi out of bed and let him take a shower. Everyone in the family sat on the sofa. Those who didn't have a sofa sat on the floor. In winter, the living room was covered with blankets and there was heating, so it wasn't cold to sit on the floor. However, if outsiders were to find out that these people, who could shake the earth with just a word, were actually sitting on the ground, their jaws would probably drop in shock. Chapter 5:16. It was noisy outside. Guqi was dawdling in the bathroom for a long time. He stared at the person in the mirror and tried to smile. However, the smile was uglier than crying. Guqi pinched his face. His eyes were unfocused. He realized he was different from other children since he was young. Other children would cry, laugh and make noise, but he didn't. He didn't understand why they cried, nor did he understand why they laughed. The world he saw was cold and gloomy. Sometimes, he even had the thought of destroying them. They brought him to see many doctors, but every doctor said the same thing. It was useless to him. The first color he saw in his world was her. But it wasn't her. The Lan Sheng in his eyes was different from the Lan Sheng with him now. He still remembered the first time he met her in real life. She sat in the car with a sarcastic face, but her eyes were calm and emotionless. When he saw her car in the garage, he had a childish idea. He painted over her car. The second time they met, she suddenly came to his house. She asked him why he painted her car. Even Guqi himself didn't understand. He just thought of it and did it. He said a few words stiffly to evade her. Now he probably understood that he wanted her to pay attention to him. Guqi, are you giving birth inside? The bathroom door was knocked a few times. Guqi put down the towel in his hand and opened the door. She was wrapped in a furry shawl and looked at him impatiently. Guqi held her face and kissed her, biting her lips habitually. Stop kissing, get out. I won't go out if you don't kiss me, Guqi said suddenly. He was stunned after he said that, then looked at Shisheng calmly. He liked it when she kissed him, and he liked it when they had intimate contact. He liked it even more when she called his name with blurred eyes. Why are you so troublesome? Shisheng hooked her arms around his neck and gave him a rough peck on the cheek before dragging him out without giving him a chance to protest. Guqi was not satisfied. He didn't want to kiss his face. So when they were about to go out, Guqi pulled Shisheng and pressed her against the door. His handsome face was infinitely enlarged in Shisheng's eyes. By the time the two of them left, it was already more than 10 minutes later. The whole family looked at them ambiguously. Lan Qing, on the other hand, was trying to separate Guqi and his baby sister. Guqi looked at the lively living room and shifted his gaze to Shisheng, who was talking to old Master Gu. At this moment, she looked very obedient. She had a faint smile on her face and her eyelashes were slightly lowered, blocking her eyes. No one could tell the true emotions in her eyes. But he knew. There was no emotion in her eyes. The only emotion he had ever seen was when she looked at him. It was very light, very shallow, and very gentle. Yet, it rippled into the depths of his heart, stirring the lake in his heart until it softened. He was different in her heart. I'll be very satisfied. Shisheng probably sensed Guqi's gaze and raised his head slightly. Their eyes met in the air. Shisheng turned his head and said something to old Master Gu. Old Master Gu laughed and scolded him, then waved his hand. He watched her walk towards him. What happened? Guqi moved to the side and hugged her waist. I miss you. I'm here. What do you miss me for? Guqi paused. I miss you every minute and every second. He wanted her to be by his side every moment. Even if they didn't do anything and just stayed in the same space. Shisheng leaned close to him and whispered in his ear. It's no use teasing me like this. It won't work today. Guqi's ears suddenly turned red. He didn't mean anything else. Why is my wife always so dirty? I say, both of you are always together. It's so annoying. Let go of my baby. Lan Qing came from the side and pushed Guqi away. Guqi respected his brother-in-law. He only glanced at his brother-in-law's hand on Shisheng's shoulder, then slowly looked away. Baby, I'm telling you, don't spoil him. Look at how spoiled he is now. Lan Qing started his annual brainwashing. I'm willing to spoil him. Baby, how can you be like this? You're always spoiled at home. Lanqing expressed that his baby was meant to be spoiled. Yeah, he spoils me too. Shisheng nodded with a smile. Gucci never asked her to do housework, nor did he force her to do anything. Even if it was something like that, Gucci would bear with it and stop immediately when she asked him to. Lanqing showed your hopeless expression. Shisheng patted Lanqing's shoulder. Brother, you should find a wife. Lanqing was speechless. So what if I'm single? I'm single. The countdown to the gala started. 3-1, the New Year's bell rang. Happy New Year. Gucci, Happy New Year. Shisheng leaned in front of him and kissed him on the cheek. Gucci was thinking, if I didn't meet her, what would I be doing now? Alone in the cold house, he played a game with few people and looked at the fireworks outside the window. He was suddenly afraid to return to that kind of life. He liked the warmth she brought him. He could fall asleep at night now. But he didn't want to. He was afraid that she would be gone when he woke up in the morning. Ah, Gucci, help me get my clothes. A voice from the bathroom interrupted Gucci's thoughts. When he came back to his senses, the party had already ended, leaving only a mess. He walked into the bedroom slowly and took Shisheng's clothes. The steam in the bathroom blurred her body. Even though Gucci had seen it many times, he still couldn't help but feel his ears burning. He passed the clothes to Shisheng. When Shisheng took it, his fingertips slid across the back of his hand. Gucci retracted his hand as if he got an electric shock, and quickly left the bathroom. He heard the person behind him chuckling. Gucci climbed onto the bed and stuffed himself under the blanket. The bedroom light went off with a pop sound. The room fell into darkness, with only the occasional fireworks outside the window. The bed sank a little. Shenshen. Gucci called softly. Yes. Shisheng responded. Are we going to live like this in the future? Every New Year's bell rang with her. Every fireworks display would be with her. Yes. Gucci suddenly leaned over and kissed her carefully, as if he was treating a fragile treasure. She was the treasure in his heart, one of a kind. I'm willing to overcome all obstacles for you and worship you as my king. Gucci *, the 16th plane has ended. Gucci, my true love. Reminder. The next plane is a transition plane. Please wear a lightning rod. Number 11. 11 lucky draw in the book review area, like a child. Orange the Fox. Please receive the prize in time. Hashtag this event is valid for a long time. Please participate. Who knows, it might be you. Hashtag. Chapter 517. Shisheng returned to the system space and stood in the same place as usual. The system was a little suspicious. What was the host doing? Close all the backup channels. Master. The host actually contacted it at this time. The host of the system raised his voice. Hurry up. The system began to operate and closed all the backup channels. Master. However, no one responded. All the channels were closed, and the host could not contact it. The system was a little confused. What was the host doing just now? Shisheng looked at the screen with some pity. The person behind you is quite smart. Thank you for the compliment. Of course, its host was smart. The system felt that it was difficult to operate. The host was not here. It was so confused. It was better to check the information. Name, Shisheng. Moral points. 200,000, broke through the lower limit. Congratulations to the host for receiving a big gift package. Health points, 25 contribution points. 31,000 mission level. B mission score, 78 hidden mission. Incomplete hidden mission reward. None item list. Queen's crown. Ghost King's heart. Dark Knight. What's the big gift package? Breaking through the lower limit gave her a big gift package? What happened to the obliteration? The system lied to her again. No, she didn't do anything in this world. Why did her moral points get deducted so much? Do you know how many couples broke up because of you? Not only was she a scumbag, but she was also a scumbag to a group of girls. What does this have to do with me? Who told you to spread dog food? Shisheng. Well, it was her fault again. A gift package appeared on the screen with its own colorful light. Sheng clicked on the screen and the gift package opened automatically. There were only 2 lines of words on it. Luck points decreased by 30%, plot delayed by 50%. Sheng. What kind of gift package was this? The system, please explain. Host, your moral points are already so low. What kind of gift package do you want? The system snorted coldly. Congratulations to the host for activating escape mode. Please don't court death. Does the host need some buffer time? What was escape mode? Host's moral points are too low. No comment. Where was I's sword? Start of transmission. Is she dying? Don't let your guard down. Demons are the most cunning. Several young men in uniform Taoist robes surrounded a figure who was crawling on the ground. It was a girl. His clothes were dyed red with blood, and it was impossible to tell what color they were. There were many people lying around her, all of them lifeless. Sheng felt as if her body was being pulled apart by someone. There was a splitting pain. The air around her was like a 1,000-pound rock, pressing down on her. Quick now. The sound of something breaking through the air came from the front. Sheng vaguely saw several figures rushing towards her. The sharp murderous aura made her unconsciously draw her sword. Clang. The iron sword blocked the opponent's weapon, causing sparks to fly in all directions. It was extremely ear-piercing. You can still resist? Hurry up and help. The other party roared at the other party. Sheng exerted force in her hand, and the spiritual power in her body poured into the iron sword. The weapon that blocked her iron sword was immediately shattered. The iron sword cut into the opponent's shoulder, directly cutting off one of his arms. Sheng stood up from the ground shakily, and before the man could react, she stabbed the sword into his chest. The other party's eyes widened, and the emotions in his eyes rolled very quickly. In a flash, he began to slacken, and his body slowly fell down. Sheng used the iron sword to support herself on the ground, stabilizing her body. The others were shocked by this change, and did not continue to rush forward. The spiritual power in this world was so abundant, so it should be a cultivation world or a fantasy world. Sheng's brain turned quickly, and her eyes swept around. At this time, there were still 3 people around her, and they were the same type as the person lying on the ground. This was a small forest, probably in autumn. The ground was covered with fallen leaves, and there was a rotten smell. Her body seemed to have reached its limit. She used a little spiritual power just now, and her body was already exhausted. Was this the escape mode mentioned by the system? Damn it, Senior. Don't panic. She was injured just now, and now she's just holding on. Let's wait. Wait my ass. The iron sword suddenly enlarged, and Sheng sat on the iron sword. Under the 3 people's surprised gazes, she rose into the air. Before they could chase after her, a small purple ball fell from the sky, right in the middle of them. Bang! The explosion created a big hole in the forest, and there was lightning flashing in it. There were no bones left. Sheng lay on the iron sword, gasping for breath, and did not even want to move a finger. Sheng did not know how she fainted. When she woke up, it was already dark outside, and she was placed on a patch of grass. Sheng raised her hand to touch her cheek. Wait. What the hell are these white claws? Sheng raised the claws to look. They were furry and chubby, and the palms were pink. They were very cute. But why were they on her body? Why did she have claws on her body? Where was I's sword? Buzz! The sound of the iron sword vibrating came from behind Sheng. Sheng turned around and saw the reflection of the iron sword. What the hell was that? Sheng raised her hand. The shadow in the iron sword also raised her hand. She raised her foot again. The shadow also raised her foot. Sheng. No, it must be her illusion. Illusion. Sheng closed her eyes, took 3 deep breaths, and opened them again. The shadow in the iron sword was still a snow-white ball. Its fluffy tail could almost cover its entire body, and its eyes were green like gems. Fox. I've turned into a fox. A beast? F***ck. How can I turn back? I was still a human before. I want to turn back into a human. Sheng, who had never been a beast, did not know how to turn back into a human. She raised her furry claws and scratched left and right, Mommy, mommy, mommy's coaxing spell was repeated several times, but to no avail. So how can I turn back into a human? Begging for a tutorial, begging for a strategy. Shisheng struggled for a long time, but found that there was no spiritual energy in her body. She thought for a moment. Maybe she needed spiritual energy? So she had to absorb spiritual energy first. Otherwise, she would be slaughtered if someone came to kill her. But how can a beast absorb spiritual energy? Shisheng felt that she should accept the plot first. Yes, that was the right way to start the story. She was so scared by her own transformation that she forgot the normal process. Just kill anyone who comes. Shisheng instructed the iron sword. Then he added, kill anyone who is alive. Iron sword. Shisheng. Why did I turn into a beast? Little fairy. Don't you think foxes are cute? And they're white. They're cute pets. Shisheng. No, how can I be a beast? Little fairy. You are a beast. Shisheng. I'm just a scumbag, not a beast. Thank you. Little fairy. Tell me what's different. Shisheng, it's different. Little fairy. I'm speechless. Chapter 518. The original owner was called Yue. She was the apple of the Fox clan leader's eye and the most popular fox demon in the Fox clan. Being flattered by everyone, Yue was spoiled and willful. She looked down on the men of the Fox clan and wanted to marry a powerful male demon. Gradually, the men of the Fox clan stopped chasing after her. Yue felt that these fox demons were not good enough for her, so she did not care. Until Yue met the male protagonist. The male protagonist, Xianfeng, was a sealed devil. He was full of murderous intent and was accidentally released by the female protagonist. The female protagonist was also a fox demon, but she could not transform into a human form. She was a little fox demon that was not popular in the clan. However, since she met Xianfeng, she started the main plot. Not only did she transform into a human form, but she also became the most beautiful fox demon in the clan. For a time, she became the most popular target in the Fox clan. However, the male protagonist was with the female protagonist, so others naturally did not have a chance. Yue liked the male protagonist, so she was not willing to let them be together. Therefore, she tried to break them up and take the male protagonist for herself. The male protagonist was a devil before he was sealed. The number of people and demons he killed was probably more than the number of meals Yue had eaten. The male protagonist was not happy when she kept pestering him. He seriously injured Yue several times. Yue was a silly girl. The male protagonist treated her so badly, but she loved him more and more. She was simply a masochist. When the male protagonist was besieged, she went to save him and fought her way out. However, the male protagonist thought that it was the female protagonist who saved him. He did not know that Yue was seriously injured at that time and was being chased. Yue was injured by an immortal weapon and could not recover in a short time. When she was besieged, she suddenly remembered a legend she once heard. Fox demons could increase their cultivation by eating human hearts. In order to survive, Yue began to eat human hearts. One human heart was not enough, so Yue killed many people. As a result, she was wanted by a decent sect. When she was being chased, she met the male protagonist and the female protagonist. However, the two of them joined forces with the people who chased her and forced her into a dead end. In the end, Yue died under the sword of a cultivator. After she died, her fur, inner elixir and demon bone were all taken away. In the end, the male protagonist knew that it was Yue who saved him, but he still did not give her any response. Yue hated the male protagonist's heartlessness. She saved him, but he joined forces with those people to kill her. No one would be able to figure this out. Gone. What about the plot? Why are there only memories? The host's grade is too low. The plot cannot be transmitted. What the hell? How could you say something like being unable to teleport? The system cleverly played dead. No matter how much Shisheng asked its master, the system just pretended to be dead. Although the plot didn't have much effect on Shisheng always felt that the system was embezzling his things, which made him very unhappy. Shisheng tried to organize the memories in his mind. The current timeline should be when Yu saved the male protagonist and was being hunted down. She had not reached the stage of eating people's hearts. Fortunately, Shisheng breathed a sigh of relief. Shisheng opened his eyes, just in time to see the iron sword cutting down an unknown shadow in the air. There were already several corpses on the ground. There were rabbits, birds. As long as they were alive, they could not escape the fate of being cut down. Shisheng raised his furry paws in a daze. She was seriously injured now. It was basically impossible for her to transform into a human being. Shisheng rummaged in the space for a while and found a few bottles of elixirs. He looked around with his paws for a while and finally made up his mind. Eat. These pills were all targeted at humans. Would it have any effect on a beast like her? Would there be any side effects after she ate them? Shisheng really had no idea. But he couldn't bear to use such a weak body. After eating the elixirs, he absorbed the aura of the air according to the way of the monster cultivators, and stimulated the elixir in his body to exert its effect. When the elixir took effect, Shisheng felt like his body was being cut with a knife. Sure enough, the elixirs for humans were different from those for beasts. Since he had already eaten it, he had to endure it. Shisheng gritted his teeth and endured. The elixir's effect was completely stimulated. He didn't know how long the pain lasted. There was a warm current in his abdomen that slowly flowed to his limbs, relieving the pain and repairing the broken veins. After all, the elixirs for humans were different. It took a long time for him to recover. Shisheng sat there for 3 days. 3 days later, the bodies of all kinds of animals were piled up around him. The ones that had been cut down first had already begun to rot and emit an unpleasant smell. All the monsters in this place knew that there was a crazy sword here that would cut down any living thing it saw. Shisheng shook his tail. The little fox shook his body and returned to his human form. Shisheng touched his arms and felt up and down with concern. He only heaved a sigh of relief when he made sure that there were no signs of beasts. But before he could relax, several figures flew over from the sky. They stepped on flying swords and landed in front of Shisheng. They acted exactly like the people from a few days ago. "Monster! How dare you kill my fellow disciple?" One of them pointed his sword at Shisheng. "Don't even think about escaping today." Shisheng calmly glanced at them and sneered. "You humans are allowed to kill monsters? Monsters are not allowed to resist? You are a monster. It is only right for us to kill you." The other party said righteously. "Then isn't it also right for me to resist? I'll kill you. If you have the guts, just stand there and don't resist." King retard. Humans killing monsters was to get rid of evil for the people. It was only right and proper. If monsters resisted, the heavens would not tolerate it. It was an unpardonable evil. Are you King unparalleled in the world? Or are you the illegitimate child of the heavenly Tao? Don't talk nonsense with her. Let's catch her before she recovers and avenge our fellow disciples. Senior brother is right. Let's attack together. If you can't outtalk I, then let's fight. Shisheng waved his hand. The iron sword flew over from afar and landed in his hand. Although he hadn't fully recovered, he had no problem killing these people. Those with a bit of eyesight immediately noticed that the iron sword was different. Its aura was too strong. Kill. The sword flashed. The wailing sound startled the birds in the distant forest. The sound didn't last long. Shisheng pulled out the iron sword from the man's chest. The corner of his mouth slowly curled into a faint smile. "Your skills are not as good as a monster's. Remember not to be a human when you reincarnate." "You." The man twitched. He only had time to utter one syllable before he fell straight to the ground. Shisheng circled around the corpses. Finally, he stopped in front of a body that was crawling on the ground. The man who was playing dead felt his heart in his throat. He held his breath and didn't dare to breathe. Did she discover him? Was it too late for him to resist? All kinds of thoughts flashed through his mind. Time passed by. She just stood by his side. Just as he couldn't hold it in any longer, the sound of her footsteps gradually faded away. Just as he was about to raise his head, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. His body twitched. In an instant he lost all signs of life. The iron sword automatically flew out of his body. It shook off the blood on the sword in disgust and chased after the figure in front of him. Chapter 519. On the tree-lined path, a young girl in a black dress walked leisurely with her arms crossed. Her hair was tied up casually and she looked clean and neat. The corners of her mouth were slightly upturned and she looked lazy. She looked handsome and at ease. A few people followed behind her, and they pointed at her from time to time. Is that her? She doesn't look like her. Should we catch her first? Are you kidding? She killed so many people. How can we catch her with just a few of us? I think we should go back and call for help. That makes sense. You guys follow her. I'll go back and call for help. One of them left. Just as the rest of them were about to continue following her, the black figure who was walking not far away from them suddenly disappeared. They immediately rushed out and looked around. However, they didn't even see a ghost. They looked at each other. She disappeared in the blink of an eye under the surveillance of so many of them. Hey! A clear voice sounded from the side. Everyone looked up at the big tree next to them. The branches and leaves were thick, and they couldn't see anything. They carefully approached the big tree and looked up. The young girl in the black dress was sitting on the tree trunk, swinging her legs slightly. The hem of her dress was embroidered with red patterns. As she swayed, it reflected the light faintly. Are you tired of living? Shisheng leaned against the tree trunk and looked down at the people below. His tone was arrogant and confident. Everyone, run! They tacitly turned around and flew into the sky on their swords. Shisheng. They were too spineless. They didn't even say a word. Shisheng jumped down from the tree and was about to leave. However, the person who left just now rushed down from the sky with a large group of people behind her. They rushed over aggressively. Shisheng. Damn, they went to call for help. Are they bullying me because I don't have anyone? The large group of people surrounded Shisheng. A few people fell behind. Judging from their clothes, they seemed to be of a higher status than these people. Uncle Wuchen. When those people landed, the others bowed their heads and greeted them respectfully. Shisheng sized up the leader a few times. He was wearing an elegant green robe, his hair was tied up with a jade crown, and a jade pendant hung from his waist. Below the jade pendant hung 3 bamboo leaf-shaped tassels. His eyes lingered on Shisheng for a moment with a hint of ridicule on his face. Is this the fox demon who killed many people of the Yuyang sect? Martial Uncle Wuchen, it's her. The person who followed Shisheng before immediately stood up to testify. Then capture him. Wuchen waved his hand casually. It was as if catching Shisheng was just a piece of cake for him. Shisheng narrowed her eyes, and the iron sword suddenly appeared in her hand. A fierce aura swept out, and the people around her took a step back. They all looked curiously and doubtfully at the iron sword in Shisheng's hand. What kind of sword was that? His aura was actually so overbearing. Martial Uncle Wuchen, she's very powerful. The group of people didn't dare to step forward casually. This fox demon had killed so many people of the Yuyang sect. A little fox demon has scared you like this. You've lost the face of the Wanshen sect. Wu Chen's tone didn't fluctuate, but the strong disdain in it couldn't be ignored. The group of people bowed their heads in shame. Wu Chen turned to Shisheng. Little fox demon, if you go back with me obediently, I won't fight with you. What do you think? Shisheng shook the iron sword and sneered arrogantly. Do you think you're invincible? Why don't you fight with me? Little fox demon, your whole family are little fox demons. Wu Chen was slightly surprised, and there seemed to be a smile in his eyes. Little fox demon, you're very bold. I can go to heaven and earth when I'm bold enough. Shisheng moved his body slightly and rushed toward Wu Chen. The iron sword passed through the air, causing the air to tremble. Wu Chen reacted quickly. When the iron sword was in front of him, he dodged to the side. Little fox demon, how can you fight with me just like that? Do I have to eat with you before I fight? Shisheng waved the iron sword and slashed at him. That's also possible. Wu Chen's feet didn't touch the ground and he avoided Shisheng's iron sword like a ghost. Since you're so good-looking, I can take you as a maid. What do you think, little fox demon? Little fox demon. Damn you, you little fox demon who called me your grandpa. Shisheng said fiercely. Look at you, you're so ugly. I'll send you to hell, so that you don't hurt my eyes. Am I ugly? Wu Chen touched his face in surprise. In the Wanshan sect, I'm the first on the handsome man list. Oh, then your Wanshan sect is really blind. Shisheng sneered, and he dodged to the left side of Wu Chen quickly. The iron sword aimed at Wu Chen's neck. Wu Chen didn't seem to notice, but when the iron sword was in front of him, he jumped up and the iron sword swept under his feet. He tiptoed and stepped on Shisheng's sword accurately. Little fox demon, I'll be angry if you do this. I'll be angry too. Shisheng tilted the iron sword, and the blade went up. A majestic spiritual power came out from the iron sword. Wu Chen's face changed slightly, and he pushed his palm out fiercely, colliding with the spiritual power from the iron sword. The invisible airflow spread out like sea waves, and the people around were blown away by the sudden airflow. Wu Chen's body was pressed back for a long distance. The blood in his body surged up, and he resisted vomiting blood. The power just now. When he received that blow, the meridians in his body actually showed signs of shattering. Shisheng looked at the iron sword, and he was stunned. Obviously, he didn't know that his sword was so powerful. This man's strength was not low. He didn't use much spiritual power just now, but the power of the iron sword increased several times. My sword is so powerful. Iron sword. Anyway, I'm an upgraded version of the iron sword, okay? Well done. Shisheng smiled and touched the iron sword. Pretentious weapon too. 0. Martial uncle. Martial uncle, are you okay? The disciples of Wanshan sect who were blown away got up and rushed to Wu Chen's side. Wu Chen suppressed the blood in his throat, and his face was much more dignified than before. Set up the formation. Hearing this, the disciples of Wanshan sect immediately spread out and surrounded Shisheng with 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. However, before they started the formation, the person in the middle disappeared again. Idiot! Will I wait for you to set up the formation? Wu Chen looked up at the girl sitting on the iron sword in the air, and there was a strange emotion in his eyes. Just when he was in a daze, a purple light fell from the air. A sense of crisis rose from Wu Chen's heart. Back off! Everyone rushed back at the same time. Bang! The explosion behind them made their hair stand up, and the frightening power chased from behind. Cold sweat covered their backs in an instant. Everyone used all their strength to fly into the distance. Asterisk la 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 la, that you're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.